now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Story with DJ and Kanila. I am Kanila Tripp. He is DJ Calvicane. And joining us today is Anvu, artist extraordinaire, and Caesar Kayabyab when he decides to show up.
Caesar Augustus.
So, what are we doing today?
We're just getting
Tonight,
stuff
I am
done.
going to be coloring a couple of things. I'm going to color this page from Exilian issue number 6. And then I'm also going to try to get this page of these last two heads, these 4 heads colored that Andrew.
Oh, I didn't get to
them.
see the other two.
Oh, Andrew that?
Huh?
Andrew that?
Yeah. Well, I inked it and Andrew it, yes.
Nice.
So,
He inked and color.
here we go.
Is that the Macabre High?
It's the only
Yeah.
one that she's doing. It is
Okay.
Macabre High School.
Cool.
All right. So,
I'm excited about that book.
whenever I get flats back from my flatter, I get the file that looks like this.
Are all comic book jobs like kind of literal? Like pencilers do pencils?
Are you talking into my microphone over my shoulder
Yes.
like a monkey?
What do you want me to do?
Oh,
I want you to use your phone and go somewhere else. Or you can
Hi,
stand behind
Caesar.
me, yes. But you're not going to be able to hear anything because everything's going through my headphones. Like she just said, hi, Caesar.
oh.
The only other person in the room that's a she.
Oh, hey. What's up, Aud? I'm digging
Nah, it's okay. My nickname is a man.
Oh, there she is. Yeah.
Yeah, my
Way
nickname.
over there.
Yeah.
My nickname in Vietnamese is
How's the
actually
monk story thing
MEN.
going?
What?
I'm working on it. Yeah, my nickname in Vietnamese is actually spell out men. MEN.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I guess. Maybe. Is it cool?
But I am working on it slowly to
What's the flow?
typing.
Oh, she's actually written shit. You gotta send
Yeah.
that to me.
I
Actual
will
copy?
eventually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How come I don't got a link yet?
I did. I sent it to you, dude. Yes. Because you have to be in Facebook to go to StreamYard.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna be outside.
All right. I don't know the colors of most of all these characters, so I'm gonna fake them until DJ says otherwise.
Oh, okay.
But
The
you
guy
do
with
what you're doing, and I'll get to you in a minute.
is purple.
It's a flashback, right?
Yeah.
All right. Number 6, page 4, page 3. Let's see. No, I should use the RGB version of it. Let's see what's going on.
What's going on?
I'm just looking at the different. I changed the way I'm looking at my. It's hard to explain.
Oh, that's so good, man.
Layout.
It's the back. This is the colors underneath the line art, so that I can see what the flat colors are, and without all the dots everywhere, I turned off the line art to grab colors. So now I'll go here and I'll grab this color for these, and then where's the cape, the skin color.
So what would you say is the longest part to do, laying down the flat or like the rendering part?
For me,
Yeah.
For me, the part that takes the longest is the special effects, the things that I call them their color holds, their glows, the things that make it look interesting. Like, for example, I'll show you on this page. All right, in this page, I had to make some effects on it to give it some the simulation that it's a flashback. So I gave it a overlay texture. I colored the line art, and I gave everything a slight orangey red overlay.
Right.
And so this is the overlay with and without. DJ liked it without. This is the texture. Let's add the texture, remove the texture. So this is it on, this is with it off. And with it on, it gives it a older feel to it because all the line art is now not black. The blacker the line art, the more current it'll feel. So then there's also this here. This is glow effects. So you see it right under the where the blood is splattering here.
And then the lower of the panel,
and then I have what is called color holds. I don't know if I have them. Yeah, I did. I set the entire background here. In order to push it back behind the wall that's in front of us. Here I'm using my hands, and nobody can see what I'm doing with my hands on the screen. But in order to show that the building and the mountains are behind the wall, I added this slight color change to the. You probably can't even see it.
No, I see it.
It pushes the background even further because it's lighter.
Right.
It's called atmospheric perspective. It's the idea that as we're looking at something in the distance, there's air between us and what we're looking at. And the air molecules adjust the way we see things, which is the reason why mountains and things in the distance look kind of blue, because we're looking at them through the lens of air. It's literally a lens adjusting the way we're looking at it. So here we go. This is the final page.
Oh, Caesar, are you now?
Yeah,
he's not in the room. He's outside, but he could totally hear us, right?
Yeah, it echoed.
It's a bad echo, dude. So what I have to do now is I have to go through and select the colors from the original art to match the art on this page, just so that it doesn't look odd.
Hey, we got Brooke Kapukuniahi Parker. Did you see his?
Brooke Parker.
Yeah.
My cousin Brooke.
Oh, is it your cousin? He's awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right, on. One big happy family. He's awesome, man. His painting is awesome. Anyway, carry on. Carry on.
I am going to carry on.
Carry on.
Now I have to select the items and make them the proper color.
I'm gonna end up learning something new every time I come on like this.
Well, that's part of the whole point of what we're doing. Part of the whole point of running the stream is A, you're right. Everybody can learn something new, and B, we can talk about what we're doing. It's just good fun.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. What color is this special effect, DJ? The thing that's green right now.
You know what? That's an issue 2. So let me pull out issue 2. Oh man, I got a mountain of comics right next to me, but not the right one. You know what? I'll find it in I'll find it in. I'll screenshot it and send it to you. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. For the moment, it is green.
It's not green. It's coming.
Okay.
It is coming. Bam. Okay.
I just got your text. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, it's purple,
Yeah.
like the Necrosaurus color.
Yeah, well, maybe you can change them a little bit. I mean, since we recoloring them, also alter them a
Do you
little.
want? So I'm assuming that the spear indicates that he's a member of the Mages Guild.
Yeah, that's a staff. That's a crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Then we're gonna go with the blue effect because their
well,
staff
just to let
is.
you know that the crystal on that staff is red.
Oh, then we'll go with red.
Yeah, like
Okay,
when there's like a snake wrapped around that crystal, and that's just
I see
decorative.
it. I see
It's
that.
decorative, but that snake's supposed to be like a black or like when obsidian kind of material, like you know what I mean.
Raja.
There you
And-
go. That's the guy. That's the guy. I got Art Adams' book in the mail today. His Kickstarter stuff. So
Oh yeah,
good.
that one.
So good, man. Art Adams is so good, man.
Are your orcs green or are they gray?
It can be any color. Like I'm not precious about them. Just that one main orc he's gray, but the rest of them can be green and
Green in
He's the-
different colors.
huh?
They can all be different colors too.
Yeah, but that main one right there,
Yeah.
with the big sword, he's the main bad guy. So
Yeah.
he's got a specific, on top the on the picture I sent, that's him. That's
Okay.
Murderous Street. He's the king, the orc king. So yeah, he's the orc king. Oh yeah, let's check out what An's drawing. What you drawing?
Drawing
Bam.
pinup.
Ooh, very nice.
So I have
Very nice.
2 pinups that I'm working on. I'm working on 2 pinup for Macabre High. So this one I'm almost done. I'm just touching up the rest of the body and stuff. Figure it out.
Jack's Law 2.0. What's up, guys? What's up, Jack's Law 2.0? All
I just
right.
gotta lay down the faces.
All
Creeping
right.
into a door.
That's from what's it called? YouTube. Right on. I like your pencils. Your pencils is. Oh, Caesar.
Oh, that was me. Sorry. I have to.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what am I hearing? I have no idea what was
Oh,
said.
Caesar.
No, it was me opening the stream to see the who is commenting.
Oh, I do it from my phone if I need to. I just mute my phone and then.
That's a
open
good
it up.
idea. Maybe I should do that instead of that.
Yeah.
Gee, you're so smart, On. I'm glad we keep you around.
I'm glad I still have some noggins left. fan.
Hi, Amy. How are you doing?
I'm actually using proper
Amy.
comic pages.
All right. Let's.
Okay, let's see.
Which one is this? Is it this one? Yeah. You got it. Just came home from work. All right, everybody gearing up for Maui. Gearing up for. So, I never know that you and Brooke was cousins.
Brooke Parker.
Yes, he's awesome, man.
Yes, we are actually cousins. My the Tripp family and the Parker family are related through Molokai.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, you get Molokai too? Oh man, we
Huh?
must be related.
Oh,
we get
I
roots to
guarantee it, bro.
we gotta like. I mean, you're real cool. I know when you get family on every island. You know what I mean?
Right.
On every, you know what I mean?
Hey, well, it's like this. There are a couple of families, where if you're if you're related to that family, you're related, one of these two families, you're related to everyone. One of them is Hussey,
Oh yeah.
Hussey, and the other one is
Right.
Harbottle, Harbottle.
Oh yeah.
You're related to one of
Yeah.
those two names, you're related to freaking everybody in Hawaii. And I'm related to both of them. So
Yeah.
that's too purple. Holy crap.
Yeah, you can.
Trust me, I'm going to.
Yeah. Do what you gotta do, man. This is.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Do what you gotta do, man.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Part of the problem here is he's got light affecting the imagery, and so it changes the way things look, right?
Right.
Let's see here. There's a picture of the necklace wearer somewhere. That's just one face.
You all ready for
No, Amy, we are not all ready for Maui Comic Con next weekend. This weekend I'm going to be printing out pinups if they're done. And
I'm working.
I will also be.
I am working on it.
And then
Right.
I will be packing a bag and two suitcases. Try to get it all done before we have to go, so that my brain can focus on things that I haven't done yet, so I can clear out the things. Hey, I did this, I did that, and I can by process of elimination remove the things that we've already done and figure out what we haven't done, and then try to get it done next week.
At least you get that, man. I'll be drawing into next week. I will be drawing.
Working.
I work too. We all work.
Yeah.
Like work is like that's no excuse, man.
No excuse.
Like we all gotta live, so just like you gotta do all of this plus work. That's just like bare minimum.
In the modern
the
modern dynamic for comics, you have to.
Yeah.
There's no there's no safety net, right?
Yep.
Without your normal job, you're gonna retire and you're gonna have nothing. So
especially if you live in Hawaii.
Yeah. Yep. Especially if you live in Hawaii.
okay, what is that? That's shadow color. Shadows. Let's see. Make that shadow too. Make this more this color. Oh, just a little bit darker with a little bit more red. There we go.
Shadows for so long.
Yeah. That's a good thing, Amy. On and I are flying on the same flights, both in and out. So I will send you mine, and you'll have both of ours. Let's see. And that's the blue and silver again, huh?
Sorry, what was that? Yeah. Blue and silver. Yeah, that's those guys. Banner colors, you know.
Actually,
Color white.
let's make that
Hi,
green.
Cookie. How's it? All right. We're getting some traffic from the YouTube. Right on. Subjects Law and Calais Hyde.
That's
All
my
right.
sister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Calais is my sister.
All right on. Nice to meet you, Calais. On stream, at least.
Right. So this is what is called. I call it reflatting, where I take the colors that the flatter gave me, and then I adjust them to match my aesthetic and what I think should be done.
Yeah.
I gotta come in here again and need to find the color for this guy.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming red cape. Not that color. Why is it that? Red cape. Kind of bonish helmet.
Okay. Where's that list of questions you had?
I will read off the questions here in just a moment.
Yeah.
I'll read the first one. First question. So, what do you listen to while you work? And in DJ's case, the answer is Cokie Frogs.
Cokie Frogs. I can't even hear the Cokie Frogs. It's always everybody knows that, like, oh, Cokie's, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's those of us from a place that don't have Cokie Frogs. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Reflat is done. Now I look at the page and I say to myself, okay, what do you listen to when you're working on?
Lately it's Christmas music.
Oh
yeah. It's too early for Christmas music.
Christmas
music doesn't
never
happen.
too early.
I love it.
It's way too early. No, because
No, November to December.
they defrosted Mariah Carey out for Christmas. I don't need to hear her song until the last week of
No, there's more song than just her one song.
No.
I like my Christmas music.
Christmas starts the day after Halloween.
Yep. Exactly. No, Halloween time I start playing Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's a no-brainer.
yeah, and then it leads straight into Christmas straight after. There's no in between. But yeah, no, lately that's been that. Usually, I like my glam rock, so like Guns N' Roses, Scorpions.
Oh, you like Scorpions? My kids was like, "What is this, Dad?"
Like, oh no, they're good. Goodness.
So what I listen to changes on the daily, though I like, depending on the mood, like if I don't want to think and if I want to just start jamming out, I listen to either like techno or even movie themes, like soundtracks.
Oh yeah.
Because there's no words, and for the most part, and there's a rhythm or there's sound just to keep me that part of my brain like moving. Right. When I want to sing, it's like usually like 70s ballads and shit. I'm sorry, 70s ballads.
Mm-mm.
Oh, lately I've been listening to Expose. I
You're aging yourself, dude.
don't care.
Just age yourself.
I
I
don't
was
care.
gonna. What is that?
Expose and New Kids on the Block.
So
For real.
Expose was a
Look it
80s
up.
version, early 90s, late 80s version of a 3-girl musical band. Remember how like the Supremes was a 3-girl band?
Yeah, but they're
Expose was also a 3-girl band.
like pop.
Well, when I say band, I mean a 3-girl singing group.
Yeah, like the trio, like kind of like
The same way
prototype.
that what's her name had that band that was like Destiny's Child. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that was the only 3 girls band, or the oldest one that I know of. Yeah.
They're awesome. They're awesome. All their 80s goodness, man. And then what else? Who's that guy's do give it all you got. Give it all you got. I forget. Remember that song?
Oh yeah, I do. Very well.
I don't know, I
Very,
guess, like,
very well.
for me, if it's not like the glam rock stuff, I listen to like Eminem raps, NF raps, and then the soft, like non-lyrical ones are like Studio Ghibli stuff. Other than that, it's all like I like the Witcher soundtrack, of course. Yeah, things like that.
Cool. The Witcher soundtrack. I never watched the second season of The Witcher.
I haven't seen the third, but
Was this
yeah, there's a third. There was like one in between the second and the third. It's like a prequel, like
Oh, really?
yeah, and it was like the time of the elders, elven.
The elves.
Yeah, the elves.
It wasn't very good.
Oh yeah, that's probably why.
No, it wasn't very good.
It was
To me, it
a
was
little
like
cringy.
it was somewhat sus, a little cringy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
mean, I appreciate the attempt.
missable. I don't know. Nowadays,
Well,
it's just you can skip them. You don't even gotta really watch them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you can if you want to, but I don't know.
Oh shoot! Hold on, I'll be right back. FedEx.
Yeah, never mind. Never mind.
is that the right color for this guy so far?
It's when you light it, it's gonna show up like the way it kind of registers on the original, right?
Well, again, I don't know. I mean, I can't tell from the original what the colors were because he's got it being affected by that pink so much, and then this color. I don't really
You know
what
what? Just go with that. Just go with
Okay.
that, and then because you kind of restarting all over again, anyways. You know what I mean?
Okay, I can
Kinda-
do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of starting all over again.
Okay.
Oh damn!
You know these helmet,
Yeah.
the orc guys, the orc king's
Yeah.
helmet. Can you make them like one kind of gold? Only because Wayne Low did. Oh, you know what? I'll send you that. So you can.
Do you want it to be gold? Just say
Wait,
gold
yeah,
if you want gold.
I'll send you the exact like picture that I want. Like, and mind you, he changed it because he was just like me, where he's like, I'm not gonna listen to what you say. I just gonna do what I like to do. And I was like, damn, that's better than mine. So it's like, okay, yeah, you can do that. Okay, so I will send that to you right now.
FedEx guys are working overtime now.
Well, yeah, it's Christmas time. That's their thing
Yeah.
to do. So we'll work overtime. Bon Jovi, nah. I hated Bon Jovi growing up.
Oh, really?
Really?
I love Bon Jovi.
No, you guys don't understand. I'm gonna explain it to you the same way I explained it to my friends, and then you'll understand. My sisters who were 3 and 6 years younger than me. No, sorry, 1 and 4 years younger than me. Were huge metalheads, big
Okay.
hair band people, right?
Okay.
What did teenage girls do in the 80s?
Chew bubble gum. I don't know.
Chew bubble gum. Okay, no, they didn't just chew it. They snapped it, right? They
Yeah.
snapped bubble gum. But what they also did was they took pictures from their favorite metal magazine and put them
Right.
up in the room, right? On the walls, their posters.
They still do
Well, my
now.
sisters did them one better. Instead of just in their bedrooms, they put them in the walls in my bathroom.
Oh,
Oh, God.
I take a crap, John Bon Jovi. I go in the shower, come up, open my door to the shower. There's poison staring at me, all the shirts off and stuff. Like, it's not what I want to see every day. That really led me to despise all of them.
that's what you get for falling in love.
So I was a crooner growing up. I listened to a lot of R&B and a
Yeah.
lot of vocal music because I lived in
Dude.
Hawaii. That's what we did in
Yeah.
Hawaii, right?
That's what we did, man. Hawaiians love to sing, man, and
Yes, we
Samoans.
do.
Polynesians love to sing, man.
Well, are you trying to say something, huh, boy? You
Yeah,
trying
we
to
love
say
to
that you're
sing.
Polynesian? Are you trying to say that you're gonna go and sing for us right now? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, maybe I might pass away in a song. Maybe I might.
Oh,
Buddy. Yeah, your love is like bad medicine.
Oh God!
Favorite song.
Save me!
Bad medicine is what I want. Oh, shake it up.
So yeah, that I was severely traumatized as a teenager. That was just one way. There's many ways I was traumatized as a teenager,
Yeah, yeah.
but a lot of them have to do with big hair bands and walking out of my shower and seeing them look staring at me while I'm naked. Well,
Okay.
I felt assaulted.
oh, man.
Also, Bon Jovi gave love a bad name. I get that.
Oh my God!
Bad
He
joke.
said that out. He said that out loud, even. All right, let's see. Let's save this.
We're halfway there. Oh,
I got all of it stuck in my head now.
What's all stuck in your head?
Bon Jovi, all of it. It's my life.
Oh, that's
Uh-huh.
I was in what was that's his comeback, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when
Now-
I started coloring, though, I started listening to a lot of classic rock,
Really?
and I got into like Led Zeppelin and all that stuff for a while. But it's like it's something I can take it in spurts now. I really dig it, but for the most part, it's not my favorite to color with anymore. I don't. In fact, lately, I mean not lately, but near the time when I was working freelance full time, I did a lot of coloring to movies. I would watch things
Yeah,
like Lord of the Rings.
yeah. That song, that score is so good, man.
Well, no, I'm talking about the movie. I just watched the whole movie,
Yeah.
like all
But
the
still,
movies.
Yeah. I do the same
And
thing.
it's very nice because every once in a while I can take a break, rest my eyes, look at the screen, get inspired, then go back to doing it. Right?
Yeah.
So that part I really dug. All right.
Dun 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 dun.
Reflatted.
I can't watch a serious movie. Oh, not serious. I don't know how to say it. Like where it asks that you invest in a bit more effort to watch it. I can't do that. I'll have on like sitcoms or just variety show or something just light if I'm
That's
drawing. If I
my
have to
wife.
watch something. Yeah.
Only unless it's something that we already seen before, then she can do something heavy. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
New
'Cause
and heavy.
then if
Like nah.
yeah, no, it's like when if I'm drawing, I'm already trying to problem solve over here, so I can't pay attention to what's on the screen at all.
Right.
So it has
Kind
to
of
be
watch.
something very lighthearted.
I kind of watch nothing new on like if I'm
Yeah,
drawing
new
and
stuff is hard.
yeah, because you
Watching
gotta
new
Yeah.
things is difficult.
process at the same time when you trying to
One of the things
process.
I started doing was watching like sci-fi TV that I liked.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It makes it pretty fun.
So I
Sci-fi.
watch things like Skinwalker Ranch kind of stuff
Oh,
or
so
ancient
yeah,
history.
not me. Well, so that's interesting. Another thing I used to watch a lot when I was coloring freelance was History Channel, the
Yeah,
documentary.
Yeah.
I used to love History Channel. I don't know about now, but I never watched them long. Like back when only had 72 channels. You remember that?
I remember when there was 5 channels, bro.
I know that, but like in the heyday of not too much channels and not enough channels, there was a sweet spot where there was 76 channels or something like that, and you could find something good for watch in those 76 channels. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
None of
Mm.
this, none of this 2,000 channels crap, and then you can't find nothing for watch because you just get like decision fatigue from just watching too much. I don't know, just having too much options. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
It's like I'm
A
not
question.
gonna even turn on the TV just because I'm gonna have too many choices. You know what I mean?
Yes. Question, DJ. This page
Yes.
and page number 4, page number is it 5? This 5? This 5.
Okay. What about?
5 RGB.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I don't know what pages those are, by the way.
This is Exilian. Number 6.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know the page number.
Yeah,
Right, 'cause-
this one here is page 4,
okay.
and this is page 5. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is still is this an
Yeah. Still
flashback?
part of the flashback. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still part of the flashback. Oh, it's gonna be good. Gonna be so good.
Where is he?
Ah, that's a good question. He's still like in the cast. Don't. I'm not. I'm not done, man. Like I'm still working all those things out, man.
So I don't know what I'm coloring then on this page. So we're not going to do it.
Yeah,
We're
don't
gonna
do
go
that. Like I still
We're
gotta
gonna go
finish that page.
save, close,
It's cool though, because
save, close.
but just knowing the fact that you could color them so fast, like you know what I mean.
I don't know about fast. That's just flatting. Yeah, I
Fast
can
com-
color a page in a page per hour. Basically, is
a page
my
per hour.
normal.
Serious?
That's
You can,
I can do a page per hour in a when I'm rushed. When that
Bro,
happens, I'm
it's
sorry. What?
fast to how long I take to draw the page. Like you know what I mean.
Yeah, well,
I take long, like it's like 8 to
I've been
12.
doing I've been doing this now on and off for 20 years, more than 20 years. So let's just say I've been doing it full time for about 12 years. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's the only reason I can do it fast.
Right. I mean,
Hi, Chris. Hi, Abby. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi.
I don't know how long. I've never done this like full time. Like you know what I mean.
No, I get you. I hear you.
I mean, I guess I did them full time when I was working overnight, and then I could, I could draw all like you know what I mean. But
Yeah, I do.
It's different when you gotta work and then come back to this and then
Mhm.
balance the whole thing out. You know what I mean? It's just different when
Yeah,
you balance it all out.
working full time is a different beast. I mean, it's you have to remember this isn't just for fun. It's actually a job. You have to
Mhm.
show up.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. You just don't get paid right away when it's your,
Yeah, that's true.
you know what I mean? When it's your, well, the good thing is for me, like I got disciplined by working those overnight shifts. Like you know what I mean. So now I know what it takes to do a page. Like you know what I mean. I know what it takes to do a book. You know what I mean.
Right.
Like I know
And
the kind of
you know what kind of investment of time and effort
right,
it is.
right, and that's exactly what I needed. But now I can, I can break that. I can break that up into so I could do a page like maybe a page in a day if depending on the page. Sometimes it would be 2 days. Sometimes it would be 3 days, depending on how much just how the page is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
just blank out, and sometimes you just get those good streaks, and you can do them in one day. And because drawing and inking is totally different, like, you know what I mean. So I run into problems twice when I penciling and inking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You have two different sets of problems that you have to figure out.
right, right. You know what I mean? So it's not it's not so clear cut. You know what I mean? But the good thing is now I know, like, okay, I gonna need at least this amount of time for do this page. You know what I mean? And that's, I don't know, just time management. So
Mhm.
but because I did them so many times, it's like, okay, I know how much time I gotta commit for them, and then I run over all the time because, like, especially now that I work in this job, like some days I just get so burnt out and so tired. I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm
Yeah.
done. Like
Yeah,
I'm
and
fried.
it's interesting the amount of work that you could do when you're burnt out.
Yeah.
Uh,
and and
yeah, maybe you can. I mean, I can't do that
well,
much.
no, when I say when the deadline hits, you know you got to do it, and you just got to put your head down and do it.
Yeah,
It's rough,
yeah.
but
I never worked for one studio like Marvel or DC. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, I guess the deadline would be the convention. So I guess that's some of it, but I don't know. Like, I never had that strain. Like, I wish I did, because I mean, then I could say I'd be working for Marvel or DC or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I don't know what that is, but maybe one day. I don't know. Who knows? But whatever. We have fun in the meantime.
Mhm.
But at
I don't
least
know.
now I know, like, what kind of time commitment it takes, and then I can stretch them out accordingly. Up, up, up. Uh,
What? Well, that's fine.
oh, Amy said, "Were any of you into album cover art?" Yeah, some
No,
of the album cover art was so good, especially like the rock the heavy metal stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm. I mean, Rosetta
I
did a
was not
bunch.
into any of that.
probably was album cover art. I cannot say I was though, but I remember it being like everywhere. Can't say. All right, let's move to the next question.
All right, next question is: what is your favorite snack at 2 a.m.?
My pillow, I'm sleeping. Yeah.
My favorite snack, Lay's chips, potato chips,
Well,
or
I am
ramen.
an
I'll just go straight to making a bowl of ramen.
I am a Oreo cookies and milk guy.
Oh, bro, that's not good for you. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
who cares? It's delicious.
it is. I eat them like cereal and milk.
Yeah, you remember how that they used to have that was it Cookie Crisp cereal?
Oh yeah.
I had it like twice in my lifetime, and I always wanted to have like Chips Ahoy cookies that like that. I wanted to eat Chips Ahoy like that.
It's not the same. It falls apart. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
The cookie will just crumble and be just all like I don't know. The consistency won't be like cookie crisp.
Wait, for your Oreo, do you like double stuff or the thin stuff?
Regular, not double stuff.
You know what I like?
Double
I
stuff
like.
is too much.
Did you eat the peanut butter one? That's my favorite
Nope.
one.
I'm not actually. People are gonna laugh at me. I'm not a huge fan of peanut butter. Occasionally, I will have
Get,
this craving for peanut butter and
get,
jelly, but I'm
you
not a huge fan of peanut.
get out of my.
Well, also consider I don't like the beach.
The beach.
Wait, really?
You don't like the beach?
Too much sand.
Huh.
It
It
gets
gets
everywhere.
Sand gets everywhere.
How about the pool?
I love the pool,
Okay.
but the
Okay.
pool is not the beach.
Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I don't mind. I like to swim. I like to get wet.
Mm.
I just don't like the beach.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, not green. Hello.
I like the beach as long as I'm not tumbling in it.
Well, I actually never even answered the first question. I actually listen to like podcasts. I'll listen to like whatever's on YouTube. I'll like go through YouTube and listen to comic book stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Well,
I've been
not when we streaming, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
well. I don't even know what I would learn from people's podcasting.
No, it's not learning. It's just being in the sphere of it. Like you know what I mean? Just being in the atmosphere
Talking
of.
about what are the X-Men gonna do now?
No. Talking
Oh,
about the business of it. You know what I mean?
About what? Oh, the business of
um,
comics. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's, bro, you can go in a rabbit hole forever on that. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
just
Tell me about it.
tune.
I'm in the middle of doing all that.
I don't know. For me, I just tune into the ones that I know my friends are on there, or which one? I like watching, say, like on YouTube. Some guys like David Finch or like Bill
Yeah.
Sienkiewicz has like they have like little shorts, little bits of documentary. So I like putting that on.
Yeah.
I used to listen to Richard Friend's stream, but I haven't done that in a long time. I have not had a lot of time. I used
He,
to watch all of Sandra Hope's things where she would post all of her
I know
inking.
her. So good, man. So
Mm.
good.
And then Jonathan Glapion was the one I started watching as
Oh,
well.
his inks is so good, man.
So, and I got to tell you that just watching them and listening to them has improved my ability to ink. Not that what I'm doing right now is good. It's just I've been able to prove using traditional media a lot because of what they taught me following the
Mm.
streams.
Right. See, you listen to that. You listen to that.
That are like book reviews, like art book reviews. So like what you got? Sergio Topi was one of those book
Should we
reviews
do a
that
copy? Yeah.
I enjoy because like there's not much documentaries I found of him yet. So a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
people
no.
who, yeah,
There's a
a lot
lot
of
of his stuff out there, but it's very difficult
yeah,
to.
fine. Yeah. So him and then which you could wow, my mind is blanking. My favorite guy, and yet I don't know his name. Um, shoot, I'll remember in a bit. But yeah, no, like some of these old, like way older guys, like I like their stuff, and I come across book reviews of theirs that then I get introduced into their work, and then I start
Yeah.
going down a rabbit hole trying to find them.
Oh, you're an old soul, on. I like you. You're an old soul. You're an
They,
old soul. That's good.
the old stuff are really rich in like personalities, and it's just
Right?
the way they approach it was different. It's not like nowadays stuff are great, but it's sometimes I find it lacks the
I have a
soul.
theory. I have a theory. You know,
Hmm.
to me, comics is an American medium. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the old guys, they were all American. Like they were brought. Some of them was you had the Ernie Chans and the guys that was from the Philippines. You know what I mean? But they were
Oh
real,
yeah.
really good artists. You know what I mean? Now you get all these artists, and they live all over the world, and it's not that their art is good, but they don't disconnect. You know what I mean? So give us
Yes.
between the art, the artist, and the content, and the what it is they're drawing. So like when Stanley was, he was giving stories to Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and all of these guys. They were writing about the world around them at the time, and they were living in that world. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Right.
you get that connection that only somebody like like Jack Kirby going well maybe not Jack Kirby but you know what I mean like so John Romita Jr. his his view of New York City is like he's sitting in New York City and probably drawing that you know what I mean so that
Yep.
Right.
is
Right.
that is the essence of the person right there going right onto the page you know what I mean
Right.
Absolutely.
for that reason I feel like I probably wouldn't be one good artist for Marvel because of that. Like you got to put that real stuff in. Yeah, you got to draw Spider-Man. Yeah, you got to draw Daredevil. Yeah, but the place come alive when you live in the place. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah,
So
you embody it.
yeah,
Which is
you
why comics from that showcase Hawaii should be made by us.
yeah, I know. Yeah, the hardest. Oh god, that's a whole lot of conversation. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's a
That's
whole conversation right there. But I got some ideas. Anyways, yeah. Yeah.
all
Oh
right.
man.
So we did music and snacks. You ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next question is a little bit more serious, less frivolous than the snacks one. Um, the question is, what is your favorite comic story? Meaning, like, is it a run of comics in a particular title? Is it a graphic novel? Is it a comic story? What is your favorite comic story?
That's a good question, man. That's a good question. Oh
Well,
man.
it's probably well for me. It's just the ones I have that I keep in my on my library shelf here. So,
Yeah.
like I have well, I grew up mostly with manga when I was younger, so that I
Sure.
know
Sure.
those I keep I was able to keep some. So like there's like the Clamp Studio folks, the four women who did Clamp. They had a chronicle
Yeah, I
called
know who that is.
Subasa
Archie Veda.
Chronicle.
The
Yeah,
Archie Veda series. Yeah.
yeah, I love those. And then Inoue Takehiko did Vagabond, the guy who did Slam Dunk. So those
Yeah.
are nice. Or
Oh yeah. That's the Doc Snyder and all that. Yeah.
yep. So
Check that.
those
I gotta
ones.
check that out, man. I gotta
Huh?
check.
Then
I gotta check. Like, I want to read some manga that is like people talk about. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would start with simpler ones or not simpler ones. I would start with the ones that are classics. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna shoot me. Okay, I would not start with Dragon Ball.
Oh
I
yeah,
wouldn't either.
yeah.
I would start with something like Fist of the North Star, Hokuto no Ken, Fist of the North Star,
Oh, that one's
or
good.
or City Hunter is a great one.
That one's also
Um,
good.
they're representative of the time. Like Fist of the North Star is like early '80s, like early '80s, and it's
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I would
bloody
call a
and it's
classic.
brutal and it's awesome. City
Yeah.
Hunter was '90s, and it's very urban and modern and cute and pretty, but very well drawn
Okay,
by
I'll see.
Master Masakazu Katsura. Wait,
Hmm.
no, that wasn't him. Katsura was Video Girl Eye, which is the craft on Video Girl Eye is amazing, but the story is a little weak.
Okay. Okay.
My greatest stories my favorite comics that I read growing up, or even modern times, the one that I had the most fun reading, mostly because it was the one that brought me into comics again, and I'm going to mention this again. It's going to be Walt Simonson's run on Thor.
Mm.
I love Walt Simons's, like, when you do story, when you do the story and the art, something about that to me is magic. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I gotta write and draw Exilian. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something about, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, get really good stories, but when the artist is the writer, you know what I mean? The artist can now do things that it's just one brain. Like, gotta make the jump. Like, you know what I mean? Like, communicating all of that. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
So,
I get you.
oh man, like Walt Simonson, get other guys, but he's the guy that always, like, is that for me. Like, you know what I mean? And not that I had a lot of his work. I had some of them, but not a lot. But I don't know, just something about that to me is magic. Like, you know what I mean? And
Yes, I do. I know what you mean.
get one it's this it's manhwa. It's this one comic called Blood Sword. You guys
I've
ever
never
heard
even
of
heard of it.
it?
No.
Okay, Blood Sword is on Chinese kung fu comic, and the writer is the artist, and the writer and artist is this guy. His name is Ma Wing Xing, and my
Okay.
goodness, it's just this. So the main character, his name is Hero. It's this Chinese guy, kung fu, all of that, and it's just his story, and it takes him from, like, I don't know, I forget what he did. He like avenges his parents because they get murdered, and then, like, then he has to run away because he's a fugitive now, and it's just his life, and it's I think it was written in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's kung fu out all the way, like, you know what I mean? And it's like just his adventure. He goes, and then he's on, like, in his hometown, and he goes, like, to this island called Turtle Island, and he fights guys over there. But he meets, like, when new master, you know what I mean? He's learning new, like, kung fu styles as he goes along, meeting new people, meeting new friends, and all of that. And one of the characters,
Yes.
his name is Ghost Server, and he has no arms, and he has a mask because, like, I forget what his backstory is, but, like, he gets beat up, and, like, whoever beats him up cuts off his arms because he did something. But so, like, so here so he so this new the so his this guy, this kung fu master, actually, like, takes him in, like, bandages up his arms. He gets stomped. He don't even, like, it's just at the shoulder. He's got no arms. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he takes Ghost Server in, and then his face is so, like, brutally, like, misshapen and all of that. So he puts, like, this mask on him, and then he grows out his hair really long, and then he braids his hair, and then he teaches him how to do kung fu with the that the hair kung fu, like that
Yeah,
you
no, no, you mean the hair whip.
the I think it's called Q, the
Yeah,
hair whip, and then
well, the
and
Q is the name of the braid.
okay, yeah.
The braid is
Like,
called a Q.
it's that, and then he can kick. Like he's really fast. He's really like kind of like a Spider-Man character, but no arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Really
Mhm.
good at kicking because now that's his only form of everything is his feet, right?
yeah.
But so he becomes like heroes. Like I don't want to say sidekick because it's not like he like they're equal parts like best friends. And oh my god, the stories they go in, like
I'm sorry.
the adventures they go on together is so good. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So good. But yeah, that's called Blood Sword.
It reminds me of those old Jade Man comics.
That's what it is. It's Jademan Comics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Jademan Comics. Yep.
I think
So
The
good.
closest thing to Jade Man
sequential.
comics I ever read was why is my head it sounds different now? Why does it sound different? Anyway. Was Badger. I read Badger.
Really?
Did you ever read
That's
Badger?
no. That's Jademan.
Huh?
That's Jademan.
No, no, no. It's not. It's an American book, written by Mike Barron, and
Oh, Mike Baron is so good, man.
and
He translated all of the Jademan comics too.
yeah. So, um, Badger is insane. He's in an insane asylum,
Oh,
and um, he learned how to. He's like the greatest martial arts master in his hometown, and he learned all of it by reading Jade Man comics.
what? Oh, that sounds like something Mike Baron would do. That's pretty awesome. Mike Baron. He got the Florida man. I want to get that.
I think like sequential art wise, like when I first became aware of it, or like that it exists, would have been back in Vietnam. Like our we have all the it's almost like manga, but then I know it's not exactly manga. I mean it's Japanese, so maybe, but they translate it into Vietnamese all of it, and so we get little books like manga sized books, and the ones that I got into first, now that I think about it, was Doraemon, the
Yeah,
little
Doraemon.
blue cat Doraemon. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the first form of sequential art I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
After that, there's a whole lot of stories I like after that. Like
Yeah.
one of my favorite comic stories is the comic Planetary by Warren Ellis.
I heard that was good. I gotta
John
read
Cass.
that. I gotta
As a story, as a self-contained, crafted story, it's absolutely amazing. But it's also a comic book about pulp fiction and comic books, and he turns them all on their head. And you know it's a story about Shazam, but it's not a story about Shazam. It's someone else, which I think is really cool. Like one of the stories he has is a story about a ghost cop in Hong Kong. That sounds like every Hong Kong like cinema ever, right? A ghost cop,
Mm-hmm.
and but he turns it into a comic book, and it's really cool.
Sweet. I gotta check that out. Everybody says that's good. Aren't they gonna do? Isn't James Gunn gonna do that in the movies?
He's going to be doing Authority, the
Authority.
Authority, which is another good, yeah, it's another good book, but it's good in a different way.
Oh,
It's
okay,
a
okay,
it's a the Authority is what would you do if you had superpowers and you wanted to make the world a better place?
okay. What was the other one?
And,
Planetarium.
what rules would you bend? The other one is called Planetary.
Oh, Planetary. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of that is in
Um,
my blind spot because we never have stores over here. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
So yeah, the planetary stuff. I mean the Authority stuff. It's very what would you call it? it's very current. It is very much a comic book that talks about modern issues through the lens of a comic book. So one of the interesting thing about X-Men was that X-Men was essentially an attempt to use a comic book theme to talk about racism, right?
Mm.
So they don't talk about that black people are bad. They say that mutants are bad, right?
Right.
So there's an analogy there, and so that was the lens of the X-Men at the time. It became really popular with when Chris Claremont and John Byrne were working on it, etc. But the Authority takes on other things like homosexuality and what if you have the power to do something to save someone, is it your ethical and moral responsibility to do so? And if you do so, are you responsible for the fallout of what happens afterward, right? So those are the kinds of things that they talk about in the Authority. Like there's a part of the story where it talks about the government has created superheroes, and the government uses them to do whatever they need them to do. And if you're not with them, you're against them. So they come after the Authority.
Oh,
it ends poorly for the superheroes. I'm just gonna say a rusty jackhammer in the hands of the Midnighter.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. The Midnighter in the Authority is the gay analog to Batman.
Okay. And Apollo is the other guy?
Apollo is the gay analog to Superman. And he and the Midnighter are in a relationship.
Yeah, I know that much.
So, yeah, that was one of my favorite storylines. What was yours, DJ? I don't think we talked about yours again.
See, when it comes to like comics, I'm so spotty because I didn't collect because of story. I collected because of art. You know what I mean?
Well, you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
I know.
No, I did.
I collected comics because of who was drawing the comics. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so it's
I
like,
do.
If you know you had on fill-in artists on this issue, and I mean, of course, if it was cheap back in the days, you know what I mean? So you could kind of get them, and then you'd be irritated when you got the fill-in artist versus the Jim Lee or whoever it was. You know what I mean?
I do.
I was following, and so my not only that too. So my collection got
the rest of the show.
First comic collection got like, and I don't like my cousin, but I don't know what the hell he did. I think
too late. You already did.
I think he was selling for drugs, honestly. Honestly, that's what I think he did. Like, you know what I mean? Well, that collection is gone, but I got a lot of them back. I got a lot of them, but the stuff that well, anyways, getting back to like the favorite stories. I cannot give you one favorite, like not one favorite long running story. I can tell you my favorite issues. You know what I mean? So one of my favorite issues was Uncanny X-Men, and I'm gonna say 277, and that's because
I don't remember. Was that the Gambit one? Yes, I thought.
It's Gambit and Wolverine on the cover, and it's like so it's like this 3-issue arc where the X-Men go to space and they meet up with Lalandra and the Shi'ar or Shi'ar, however you say those guys' names.
Yeah.
And they find out Professor X, and he's the warlord, and he's not acting like Professor X, and then come to find out he's a Skrull that duplicated Professor X's body, and then one by one they kind of take over all of the X-Men. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Until I think it's only like Gambit, um, Storm, Banshee, and Forge left. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep.
And it's pretty awesome because so they get separated, they capture Wolverine, they duplicate Wolverine. So now you get one Wolverine going around and he's bad. You get one Jubilee, she's bad. You know what I mean? These are all Skrulls, right? Then you get one Psylocke,
Yeah.
she's bad. You know what I mean? So you get the best of both worlds because you get Jim Lee drawing those issues. You get Chris Claremont writing that stuff. You know what I mean? So the dialogue is so Chris Claremont, his dialogue is so good. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
His just everything about the way he they loved it, man, and I loved it. You know what I mean? So what ends up happening is now and then so Gambit gets separated from like Storm guys. So now they think it's just Storm, Forge, and Banshee against all of them. And it's not just the Shi'ar and the Skrulls, but it's also what is the Cyclops dad? The pirate guy, the space pirate, Corsair,
Star Slammers.
the
Yeah, Star
Starjammers.
Slammers.
The Starjammers. So it's the three of them versus those three factions, right? But
Yeah.
Gambit is like hiding in the ship someplace. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
but basically, like that for to me is like Gambit was an awesome design, but in that run, like Gambit shines. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, they're not writing Gambit. They're not writing
Yeah.
him right. Like, you know what I mean? They make it lover boy and all
Well,
of that.
I
It's
think
like,
ever
no.
since they did when they stopped doing I wish they would have done more with his background as a thief. You know, the Thieves Guild, the
Yeah,
Assassin's
kind
Guild
of falls
storyline.
right there against me. Like, you know what I mean? The Assassin's Guild and the
Like
Thieves
he
Guild and all of that.
uses his
Like, oh
abilities
man.
as a thief in that story. Well, it's
But I kind
interesting
of
that's
like.
your favorite story. DJ. It's interesting because I was in Japan when that came out and I didn't see it. The last
Oh
issue
yeah.
I got before I went to Japan for 2 years was the double page gatefold cover with the X-Men in space.
Right. Right.
Remember which one?
Yeah.
You sure what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yep. I
And
love that. That
that
should
was
have
the
been the
last
one,
issue
but
I had before I went to Japan.
oh god, actually, too. Oh
That
man.
one, that was it. That was the
Right.
beginning of it.
Wow. Yeah, that's the beginning of the arc. Yeah, that's the beginning of the arc. 276 is also an awesome issue right there. You know what I mean? And it's Gambit. Like, it's all the X-Men, but it's Gambit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so you want a good Gambit story? Go read Uncanny X-Men 275. Well, actually, once he gets in, he's good. But Uncanny X-Men 275, 276, and 277. So good, man. So you get the best of both worlds. You get Jim Lee on the art, and you get um, you know, what's his name? Chris Claremont writing. Is his characters and Jim Lee's drawing. Scott Williams on inks. You know what I mean? Like, that was like, bro, they was hitting just on a different wavelength, man. They was hitting so hard, man. I don't think you can make comics that good anymore. You know what I mean? Story and art was so good. Story and art was so good.
Right on. Here you go.
Oh,
Bam.
did you change her hair? What you
Whose
call
hair?
it? I gotta get to know their name again. The one with the Hapa. Izzy. Yeah.
Izzy's the one with
hair.
the yeah.
So,
That's technically what she looked like to begin with, and it changed over time. But I was testing it out to see if I like it this way or not.
right. Okay. So she's gonna go from white to pink.
Well, I don't know. I mean, pink.
You don't know.
She was never pink. No, she was never pink.
Oh.
She was always had black hair.
Is it?
But I don't know if I'm gonna
Oh.
keep it like this or not. Maybe my artist can like give me ideas to what I should do.
I do like that it's half. There's
Right.
there's a personality to it. Yeah.
that's kind of the personality she should have. She's like almost bipolar to a degree.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because like in here it is partially pink. Well, in the Bible, he's partially
Right.
pink,
She's
partially black.
kind
Yeah,
of pink in that picture.
gotcha.
Anyway,
Oh,
all right.
I like them.
Next question. Moving on.
Moving on.
Do you prefer working analog or digital for pencils, for ink, or for color?
Oh,
On, you first.
Analog as
You know,
in pen, paper,
paper, pencil,
traditional.
pens.
Yeah, analog all the way
Traditional.
through. Yeah.
So you prefer that? Why?
the feel.
Why?
I just like to feel. Yes, I'm very much sense driven kind of person, so I like to feel everything. And then the happy
Yeah.
little accident that comes on there.
Right.
Oh, I can see that too. That's the happy little accidents thing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm probably going to be depending on how you are you. That's a good. I should bring you this question now. Are you going to give me your original pencils, or am I going to scan Are you going to scan them and I'm going to print them in blue pencil on my printer?
I'll do both. I'm gonna scan it and then give you the scan, whatever. Because like I think you asked me to make it like line art in Photoshop. I'm not sure how to do that. I usually just scan grayscale. So I'm gonna leave that to you, and then I'm gonna deliver these actual ones. So if you want to play with them,
All right, I can do that.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. And if you did it the other way, it'd be a really large files to send. I don't know that you want to do that.
Yeah,
Scanning it at 600 DPI at grayscale, those are large files.
yes, I've had my computer crash before because of it, which
Yes.
is
Yes,
fine.
you have.
I've gotten used to that, but yeah, no, I use We Transfer. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only way I could get those files around usually. That or thumbnail. Or not thumbnail, I mean thumb drive.
Yeah. All right, let's see. You're that. Save this right here.
Yeah, only this year because of some stuff I had to do, I had to touch up some of my work digitally. But then that's
Yeah,
like little
that's
blemishes or things it's gonna
yeah,
touch.
that's normal. I mean, touching things up digitally is, that's
Mm,
common practice. In fact, whenever you scan artworks, you should be reviewing
yes.
the scan to make sure there's not stray pixels and things that are messed up.
Oh yeah.
Good. This is what that is.
Yeah.
Mm.
I have to do that, and then no, I just never really bothered to take the time and learn like the tools on Photoshop. I have like a very basic version of Photoshop from way back when, like I think Photoshop 10, 8 or 10, somewhere there. It's
Oh,
an
you're so
old one.
cute. You think that Photoshop CS anything is old? That's so cute.
Oh,
I
I know
use
there's way older, but
5 or 4.
no before CS there was another version of Photoshop that went up to I think 7 or 8,
Right.
yeah.
and I was using Photoshop in college before there was a version of Photoshop. But that was in college, and I didn't do any coloring. I learned how to color in Photoshop 4, and I was lucky because Photoshop 4 introduced the miraculous tool called undo, multiple levels of undo. Photoshop 3, you couldn't undo what you did. Let me say that again.
Oh,
In Photoshop 3, you couldn't undo more than once. Like you only had one undo.
oh.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
imagine how fun that was.
Right.
Well, you might as well just draw on paper.
you,
Take your one undo or just draw on paper.
and here's another fun thing. Back in the old Photoshop 3 days, sometimes it took 10 minutes to save a file.
His paper.
The dialogue, the age of.
Oh
Here's another one here. I'll show you a great one right here.
You guys, you remember like downloading music and then just putting the whole list and then just go sleep and then wake up and all of that is wake up and all of that list
Right,
is
and then hopefully it downloaded and then didn't get screwed up while you're doing it. But here's a great thing. I'm going to show you this. In the old Photoshop, this. Hold on. No. This, making this gradient would cost. Oh, nothing. Would take probably 30 seconds to render on screen. Just
God.
to draw this gradient.
Oh man, that's too much time.
So, if you wanted to have a color, that'd be great. But if you wanted the color to be cool, or like if you wanted this to happen, that would take about a minute for it to work. Was not the greatest thing in the world. And it's interesting, the method that I used to color was created by Wildstorm Effects. It's a layer coloring created by the people who first started Wildstorm. They were one of the early ones. Them, along with people like Digital Chameleon, they created the processes that we all use now. And this process where I have layers and channels, and I use channels for line art and for flats. That's all something we created back in the day, because the more layers and channels you had, the longer it took for gradients to do, and longer it took for files to save. But the less layers and less channels you had, the faster all that happened, because the files were smaller. So that's why we did file size, and saving file size was a huge part of our job.
Right. Right.
DJ, you're next on the question. Do you prefer analog or digital?
For pencils, gotta be analog. Gotta be analog. I don't know, something about drawing on the iPad or drawing digitally. I can ink on the iPad now that I found this brush, but before this brush, I hated drawing digitally. But now that let me see, what brush is this? Now that Clip Studio Paint has the G Pen and the real G Pen, man, that's a game changer right there. You know, and never used to be this good. Like I remember inking. I did a couple issues like fully like digital, like pencil and ink. And then, I had to try them all, right? And then there's advantages and disadvantages, but when it comes to like pencil, I gotta have the real thing. You know what I mean? I gotta have the lead, the eraser, just something about that. I gotta get that. You know what I mean? But digital inks with this G Pen and the real G Pen, the fact that I can now delete and go back, you know what I mean? That's a game changer, because I actually love inking analog, but my inks on paper is not the greatest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's okay, but it's the difference, like seeing Greg Capullo pencil his work and then seeing Jonathan Glapian ink his work versus he inked his own work. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
You can see the difference. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
I wish we were back in the old days. Not the old days, but I wish I could find it. I want, the only reason I ink is because I tried having other people ink my work, and I don't like it. I just don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I could probably let you try, but it's something that is like, I'm so I don't know, precious about the way it comes off. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
So
and sometimes if you have a vision and it doesn't match your vision, it can be frustrating, right?
Yeah. Yep. Actually, one guy I remember, man. By the way, he's working for Marvel. By the way, he works for Marvel right now, so you know what I mean. I probably should have just
Who?
freaking the guy. His name is Juan. I forget his last name. Juan,
What was his name? Juan Sanchez Ramirez III?
something like you know what I mean. But anyways, when he first started off, he had a lot of like knowledge about inking and all of that, and so I was only drawing at the time. You know what I mean? I was only drawing by pencil at the time, so I so the whole we had this kind of like this digital, not digital. We had this online studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been a part of 2 or 3 of those actually.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So we had this studio going, and so he was going to be the inker, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that he was bad or anything; he was good, but it's just something about it. He never translated what I needed for translate the right way, and then we tried a whole bunch of like. Then I tried finding like the right person, and I never could find them. Like I thought for every Jim Lee you go on Scott Williams. You know what I mean? And then you reality hits, and it's like, no. First of all, I'm not Jim Lee. Second of all, like Scott Williams is freaking really good. Like you know what I mean? Like that's not the reality. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hear you. Why don't you put on drawing up for us instead of my blank empty screen?
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh.
We want to see what On's doing.
John's been looking into the door.
Yeah.
The faces
It's the
and-
Scooby-Doo picture. Looking
Scooby-Doo.
through the doorway.
So good.
That doesn't mean stop drawing on. That means
Why
keep drawing.
Poppy?
I don't know. It's
You don't
so
want
big.
people looking at you while you're drawing?
No, I'm fine. I found this at Pink Box, the Korean store, and it has like a
Yeah.
flat head, so it's great. I don't have to retrace some of the lines. I'm learning to work a little smarter, not harder.
Why Poppy? We're not gonna. We'll help you, but you probably should go help look for someone else's help. Oh my gosh,
Who's White Poppy? I'm looking for.
I have no clue. Somebody just walked into their stream.
Who could tell me when the following sentence is correct?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be fun.
Oh my god!
And as we wait with bated breath to see why Poppy's question, our sentence, let's go to the next question. Oh wait, DJ, you answered your question, right?
What was? Sorry, I'm blanking out. Yeah, I like
analog or digital.
Inking, digital, and drawing is pencil. Colors, I like both. Colors, I like Copics, and I like doing colors with digital, because colors
I
is
think
easier. Like it's much more forgiving than inking.
Oh, it can be forgiving if you do it right. Otherwise,
Yeah,
and just like a good inker can make a bad pencil look good. A good colorist can make a bad art look good, and the opposite is also true. Bad color can make great art look crappy, and art look worse.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're right.
But
It is more forgiving.
Just as a lay person, like you know what I mean, you could pick up colors and be like, I'm gonna try this and try. Oh, that looks good, because your eyes are now, especially when you work black and white for so long, and then all of a sudden you start seeing colors pop on. You're like, oh wow, this is so fun. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting because most people have a hard time. They like my students. My students will say, "Uncle, I need to find a red." Well, I said, "Well, pick out a red." Well, this one doesn't say red. It says vermilion. It says scarlet. I'm like, yeah, they're both reds. They're just not called red. You got to go find the red that you want. So
Right.
a lot of lay people, when you say red, they just pick whatever is called red, and they don't look for the actual color they're looking for.
Yeah. And that's why I like Copics, because Copics, you get those numbers on them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You ever use Copics?
Me, yeah, I have. I've got a number of. I got a set too, but I don't.
Yeah.
The problem that I have with Copics is the fact that unless you are doing them correctly, you'll see all of your brush strokes or all of your marker
Yeah.
strokes, and it can look
Yeah,
horrible.
use that to your advantage. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
like-
you have to, right? You're supposed to,
Right, yeah.
to use your strokes to
Right.
better you. But I see too
That's-
many artists out there that do nothing with it. Like their lines go in all kinds of different directions, and they don't really care.
Right.
It's red, so it's red. You know.
Yeah. But I love the blend from the Copics. Like, you know what I mean?
I actually don't prefer the Copic blending. I prefer the alcohol markers better. I'm meaning
Well,
the
Copic
old
is
barrel Prismacolor. No, the old barrel Prismacolors had more alcohol than the Copics did, so it blended different.
I like.
And,
I had the Prismas too. I mean, I don't know if I had the same one as you, but
oh yeah,
yeah, I love.
it was done differently, right?
Yeah. You ever tried Tombos?
No.
Oh yeah, I like
good.
Really
them.
not.
Cheaper, they're smaller, and it's just easier for like when it's cheaper, you can experiment more because it's like, okay, this is like $2 for one pen, like, versus Copics was
Mhm.
like, depending on where you go, it could be like up to $9-11 just for one Copic, you know what I mean? One marker, you know what I mean? So it's like, maybe not.
For me, I blend all my tools together. They don't stay pure.
Me too.
Yeah,
Whatever works, right?
yeah. That's why I like actual ink, but like I have different colors. Kind. I use like fountain pen ink and
Yeah.
water down like watercolor kind.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to Reed, and he was telling me all of these different inks, and I'm like, bruh, I kind of remember all of that. Like, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
he's a great guy for that. Yeah.
I was like, bruh, I cannot. It's just too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have I don't have the patience to learn all of that. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, my turn. Digital or analog? I definitely prefer inking analog, although I can do it digital. It's not my favorite thing. I like the effects that you can get with. I like much like Anna was saying, happy accidents. You can get all kinds of great happy accidents with ink if you allow the tool to do the work for you. I know that sounds weird, but you gotta let the tool do the work. And you don't have to not force it.
I know what you mean.
And it comes down to finding the tools that you like to use the most. Like, I am now, after using it for a while now, I'm a huge fan of brush inking.
I love brushing.
I can get super thin lines. I can get super thick lines. I can do little effects with the dry brush, things like that. But I have never ever been really good at nib inking.
I love nib.
The nibs always run out of ink too fast for me.
Mine, they always clog up or dry up.
Yeah. So one of the things that I learned that was most important about using brushes to ink with is that every so often you just got to wash it out, start over, and get a clean clean your brush, put a fresh batch fresh load of ink into it, and then work it again. Because especially with stable brushes, they can clog up, and then your brush starts to get flat, and it doesn't have the spring that it should have. And then after a while, you'll see little pieces of black on your other hand. You're like, how did that get there? And it just, if you're not consistently washing out your brush and cleaning it, there's all kinds of stuff that could go wrong over time. That was probably and then the other piece of advice that I got from Uncle Steve, DJ, referring to Steve Lealoha, the other Hawaiian in the comic book industry that has a Hawaiian name. Amen. His advice to me when I asked him, what is the best piece of advice you can give to any aspiring inker? His answer was to slow down. And then when you think you're going slow enough, slow down some more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because inking is not about you can't, in order to redo a line when you're inking, you have to white it out, a couple layers of white out, and then redo it, and then paint again.
Right.
You can't redo a line. So by making sure that you're putting the right line down the first time, you're done. I mean, that's it.
Mhm.
Slow down. I gotta try that. My problem with inking analog is I always smear the inks because I cannot. I always gotta work all over the page, and I forget what is wet and what is dry. You know what I mean? And then I
Yeah.
always spin the page all over the place. Like you know what I mean? So I
Do
bound to.
you have a do you draw at a drafting table or do you draw on a flat table?
I draw on a drafting table.
Okay, the drawing inking on a flat table lends to that problem.
Uh,
Because sometimes you're not really looking at the whole paper when the paper is up on a drafting table. Like you can see more of the paper, and then you can be more careful. When it's flat, you don't. It's not that you can't see it, but it's an awkward angle.
Mhm.
it is awkward. I
I used to
cannot
get ink
because of
everywhere.
the size of the 11 by 17. We spoke about this. It's so tall
Yeah.
and so long. When you put that 11 by 17 down on a flat surface, the top of the page is gonna look weird. Like you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I remember like the first time I was drawing, I think it was whichever the first issues I was like drawing, the first pages I was drawing, it would look good, but then when I would stand them up and look at them, it was like, why does it look so weird? You know what I mean? And that's
Mhm.
because um it's the angle, right? You're not seeing the whole thing. So then I got the drafting table and I was like, oh, okay, that fixes that problem. But for me, what then, it's a new set of problems, right? Because of what you said about the flat table and the inking, but I pencil and ink at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those issues 1 to 4 is all done with the nib and brush pen and um microns. Like I used everything, you know what I mean? But the characters I mostly use the nib because I really like the way the nib lends itself to my style of drawing. You know what I mean? So but then when I would use like brush or you know what I mean, anything like that, and like because I was experimenting, you know what I mean? I would always smear something somewhere. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I would always like
Mm.
I was so messy because my process was I would pencil the characters, then I would ink the characters, then I would erase everything, then I would draw the backgrounds. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm.
it wasn't like I had to lock in the characters, then draw the backgrounds afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, one of the
I just
things I prefer digital color and traditional inking and penciling. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't do the other things. I do. It's just a matter of preference. Now, one of these days I want to do a fully painted cover, but I'm not there yet. Although I've been painting a lot lately, traditionally. I'm having a harder time working smaller, so I'm gonna have to work on doing that again.
I could see that.
All
Yeah,
right,
I could
next
see that.
question. Who would you like to collaborate with in the future, alive or dead? Anyone, who would you like to collaborate with? Anyone,
alive or
alive or dead?
dead.
Go.
Mike Buckus.
Who?
Mike,
He
what?
Mike Buckus. He does a lot of zombie kind of drawing, but let's see. I have a book here of his. Oh, if I can grab it. Hold on. I like his work. I don't like zombie, but there's something
Hmm.
about his work, and he does traditional analog.
What was his name? Can I see his name?
Let's see. Hold on. Where are you, Mike? Oh, right here, down here. Mike Buckus.
Butt kiss. Yeah.
Butt kiss.
Bucket.
Butt kiss.
Huh.
Butt
I've never
kiss.
heard of him before.
Yeah, me too.
See, I well, like a lot of people, stumble across artists on social media. So I came across his work on Instagram, but it's just he's very much hands-on, tries all kind of
Right, right,
traditional medium and builds up the layers.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, but I just love the way he builds it up. There's a lot of movement into the work. It's intense, which I like. But yeah, there's
Dude,
something
that's
in like the
pain,
texture
man.
that he keeps.
Pain.
Yeah, it's just scream fun for me, like the way he works. It's like you can
Mm.
get into the nit grit of the details, but at the same time, like
Right, so much
it's
texture.
fun. Yeah,
So
a lot.
I
So
never
much
was
texture.
a person. I was always like black and white and shapes and okay, colors. You do the rest.
We'll do our best. All right, DJ. What about you? Alive or dead? Who'd you like to work with?
Because I always wanted to draw. I always wanted to collaborate with like a good writer. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
Robert Kirkman or like somebody I know I can trust to give me a good story, and I just draw them. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're proven. Like you know what I mean? Like when why am I blanking right now? So Robert Kirkman, I don't know, just oh man,
Brian Vaughn,
yeah, like like
Snyder.
um yeah, like like Snyder or what's the other guy that does like Donny Cates, like you know what I mean,
Yeah. Established
like
writers that give you a story and let you go
yeah,
off.
established writer that you know what I mean, like because I always wanted to be like the kind of like the Ryan Otley kind of style, like Ryan Stegman, like you know what I mean, like just draw the comics and just that, like you know what I mean, like you guys write them, you guys figure out all the emotional stuff, the plots and the storylines and all that, and I'll just put my spin on the page, like you know what I mean, on
Mm,
this beat, on
mm.
that, mix it up here and there, but you know what I mean, but just I'm knowing that I would be in good hands, like story wise, you know.
Mm-mm.
I was always looking for like one good writer, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Who else? A couple other guys that I'm blanking on them right now. You know what I mean? Blanking on them right now.
I'm going to jump in and say mine. And mine is shooting for the proverbial moon.
Hmm.
One of these days, if the person I'd most like to color for is Mobius.
Oh yes.
Is it still alive?
I want, I no, I want him to draw something in black and white and let me go nuts on the color. That's a dream of mine because his
That
work is
Wait,
so
would be
open,
cool.
right? There's
Yeah.
right,
no
right, right.
and everything is done in all of his mood when he does it himself. The mood is all color, and it's just I can't. I
No,
want
it's
him
so
to do
simple.
something.
It's so simple, and it's the
Right?
simplest to me. That's harder to do than render. I
Oh,
think
absolutely. Oh,
you
absolutely.
as artists, we kind of hide behind the rendering, like you know what I mean,
Oh,
or
yeah, we do.
we
Todd
we use
McFarlane's
the
rule, right?
like yeah, you know what I mean. But
Todd McFarlane's rule is when in doubt, black it out.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So somebody like Mobius, Gerard, yeah, he's so good, man. Jean, how do you say his name? Jean Gerard, Jean Giraud,
Jean
Jean
Guido.
Giraud.
I don't know how to pronounce it French. I'm not sure.
Anyways, yeah, he's
I don't
so
speak
good.
French.
You gotta be brave to
Jean
just leave it.
Giraud.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
That's
absolutely.
a
And
level of courage on the page.
yeah. Okay. Next question. Is the project you're working on right now your dream job? If not, what is your dream job? On first. I'm going to say probably not your dream job.
I've had. I mean, I'm on several projects, but if I have to be honest, no, not my dream job. I am happy though. Like I get to
No.
collab with
The
you.
question actually is leading towards, if that's not your dream job, what is your dream
What
job?
is um is actually to work on my own story that Uncle Caesar has been like kind of
Helping
tapping,
you.
poking at me
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Poke, poke, poke,
So
poke, poke.
poke, 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 poke. Yeah, but I have two that I proposed to him, so I just need to focus on one first. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna be behind on time wise, but it's still moving. It's still, I'm still
That's
getting
all
a
that
bit of work
matters
in.
is moving
Yeah.
forward. Oh, before we continue with this question, I'm going to ask her why Poppy, because they are patiently waiting. Why Poppy? Yes,
Yeah.
Mike has dinner cooking for me is completely grammatically natural. All right,
Oh,
back to the question. So your dream job would be then something that you're working on for yourself, your story.
Yes. Yes. To just accomplish it, and it's not just it's to also fulfill something I
what's going on?
promised to myself internally with a dear uncle of mine. So I want to get it done for sure.
Right.
Yeah. It's fun though. It's gonna involve my own culture, what I grew up with, myths and legends that I grew up with in Vietnam that was just like told by the adults or the amusement parks that we went to, and they scared the crap out of me. So it's not a scary story, but it has elements that are fun from the
Yeah.
myths and legends there. So yeah.
Sure. DJ, what about you? Are you working on your dream project right now?
I'm not. Well, Excellent is my baby for sure, but I don't know if that's my dream. Like, it has to reach in order for it to be like a dream job. It has to reach a level of success. You know what I mean? And
No, I hear you.
you know what I mean? Like, I gotta be able to
It's
quit
got to
my
be
day
just
job.
far enough away that you can't really reach it if you tried. It will require help from someone else.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, but like honestly, I am happy. Like drawing, as long as I can draw, that's the therapy for me. You know what I mean?
Oh, I too.
You
Oh, yeah.
know,
We get you.
you,
Artist
if you
therapy is huge.
got art, bro, it's like my brother. My brother will play music by himself with 20 guys. Doesn't matter. He gotta play music. You know what I mean? Without
Yeah.
music, you're not happy. Like you know what I mean. Same thing with me is like I gotta draw. Like you know what I mean.
It's like
I
a day
wanna
without
draw.
art is like a day without art is a day without sunshine.
Exactly. But for like dream job, for me is like dream job. Oh man, I get two answers for that. So one, obviously, it's the X Men. It's the uncanny X Men. But honestly, I wouldn't be good for that. Like like I wouldn't be the best. Like now, sure. Hey, my baby, I am my Natalie, my Kelohi, I'm my baby. But anyways, so X Men would be like the dream. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like best case scenario, Marvel's doing good. They paying page rates, you're getting royalties, all of that. Like they give like I'm the what's it called? You get the exclusive contract, like you know what I mean? Like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the dream. That would well, I don't know if like reality hits, right? You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know
Oh, absolutely.
now like I wouldn't be the best guy because of what I said earlier, which is you can do the X-Men, you would be better for somebody who lives in New York. Unless you move the X-Men to Hawaii, you know what I mean? And then you know what I mean? Then I go be the guy.
Well, they moved
Like
to
you know what I mean?
Australia once, so why not Hawaii?
Yeah, but straight yeah, I guess so. But still, yeah, Claremont wasn't gonna leave them in Australia. They did a run. They did an adventure
No,
in Australia.
totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally. Yep.
But like if they were based in Hawaii, then I would be the guy. Like you know what I mean? Then I mean
Yeah.
then I'm your guy. Like you know what I mean? But like
It would require
I
someone
don't-
who could write Hawaii, which isn't not everyone in the world can do it.
right.
Hawaii is a different beast, man.
Hawaii is totally different beast, and it's hard. Like Hawaii is hard because there's not the population is too small for catch fire. You know what I mean? It's too small to support the what is good. Like, because New York is such a huge place, and anybody can really, like, good story is good story. You know what I mean? But more
Yeah,
people will relate to that versus relate to a story coming out of Hawaii. You know what I mean? So that's why Hawaii's really, really, really tough to get something good and current out of. You know what I mean? Would have to be
I
so
do.
like, okay. So that brings me to my next answer. So I
Mm,
I I want to do superheroes from Hawaii. You know what I mean? And I've been
hmm
working on them, and I'm working on them and reworking them. But the hardest thing about Hawaii is there's no status quo between Hawaiians. You think about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Every
Now explain that a little bit. Go into that a
Okay,
little bit. I don't know.
so when I mean status quo, you think about think about your comics. You get one
Mm-hmm.
status quo that you get on baseline for kind of base off of, right? So say like X-Men, Fantastic Four. There's all so Fantastic Four is on family story, right? You
Yes.
know that, like, I mean, we all know that, right? X-Men is
Yes.
kind of like you get on different baseline, but you know
It's
you get on status
the
quo
school.
for work with
Yeah.
the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a school. You know what I mean? So you get on for Hawaii. You know, more on status quo that enough people can relate to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't. It's there. I just kind of think of them. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, so I'm gonna give you an example of one of the things that you're referring to. Okay.
Okay.
So when we were in when I was in high school, one of the biggest movies of the day was called The Breakfast Club. To this
Right.
day, people will stop and watch The Breakfast Club because it was so iconic for them. But for everyone from Hawaii, whoever went to school in Hawaii, we don't understand it because we didn't have the same um, school didn't do the same things to us that it did to them. We had different cliques. We had the surfers and we had the jocks, yes. But you could be a member of all of them or none of them and you could still be accepted. Whereas on the
Right.
mainland, cliques were you're in our clique or you weren't, and if you weren't, we don't talk to you. Period. That's not the same. That's not the way it was here in Hawaii,
Oh.
and specifically not for me at Kamehameha schools. We had a completely different kind of like separation because the majority of people who went to Kamehameha were smart. They were nerds, so you couldn't separate the nerds from everyone else because it was like 80% of the students. Because in order to get into school, you had to be intelligent and you had to do good schoolwork.
Right.
But so you're referring to things like that where people don't understand the story that you're telling because they didn't experience it, right?
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly. That's
or
what I
like,
mean
or
by
like
status.
like Denzel Washington did an interview recently. And he talked about how, um, the only person that could tell the story that they were talking about was a black director. I don't remember who it was or what movie it was. It was a black director, and she said, "Why couldn't a white person do it?" And Denzel basically said, "No, because a white director wouldn't know what the smell of a hot iron heating curly hair smells like,
Right.
right?"
It's the little
In
nuanced
Hawaii,
things that.
it's a little thing. In
Yeah.
Hawaii, we know when somebody says, "Hey, bro, you better make the rice before you go out tonight," right? We know
Right.
what it means to go make rice.
Right. Right.
Everywhere else in the world, other than Asia and most Pacific island countries can, but in on the mainland, in like Michigan, they don't know how to put rice in a rice cooker and cook rice. They don't
Yeah.
understand. They don't know the dynamic. They don't know what spam smells like first thing in the morning when you wake up and you're hungry, and how delicious it smells. It's just frying with some eggs. Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Yeah.
But little things like that. It's as your niece says, it is cultural experience. She's absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not saying we don't have a status quo,
No,
but
absolutely. It's just a small. It's a small one, smaller.
right. Right. But like,
Um,
so I know I have stories, but I know
mm,
I know like one of the things that I got like this whole life mission, and I kind of using my baby Exilian as kind of like not the launching, but like, you know what I mean? Like, that's I can draw that all day. Like, you know what I mean? I get enough fuel. I get the story. Like, I have everything in me to do it, even if it's not going to like now with you on board, it's going to be better now, right? You know what I mean? But even if it was just, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but I know, and I'm not saying it's practice, but it's kind of practice. I got to get my process down. I got to get how do I market it? How do I like I got to get all of that down. But the big one that I know I'm saving up for is the superhero story from Hawaii. Like you know what I mean? And I kind of feel like that's what everybody's waiting for, right? You know what I mean? Like they're all waiting for that one. You know what I mean? And I really think soon is the time. Maybe not right away, but like I mean, how much life we get left, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I know eventually eventually I got to do them, you know what I mean? I got to do them. And that's going to be the big push, you know what I mean? That's going to be the big one. That's going to be the, like, you know, caution to the wind. Let's go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's find the guy. Let's find the best people we can do to do this, and then let's do it. Like, and let's just do them to the max. You know what I mean? Do them to the nines. Like, I mean, just leave them all on the page. Put them all on the page. Everything. Like, you know what I mean? And it's
The
gotta
blood from your fingers is in your ink. There you go.
the passion gotta be there. The realism gotta be like not. It doesn't have to look realistic, but the I don't know. It's just like looking at John Romita, his art, like Daredevil. You can tell, like he knows what it is to live in New York. You know what I mean. You can see him you can feel him in his pages. You can feel him in the artwork. You can see him in every it's there. You know what I mean. I gotta do that in my own story, telling my own story based from here. Like you know what I mean. Like the Hawaiian version of that. And it's not it can't be on rip. It can be influence. Sure, I can take my influence from there. I can take my inspiration from there, but the core of the story, the core of the character, it's gotta the heart gotta be there. You know what I mean? The values gotta be there. It's gotta be like any person can relate to them, even if you're not Hawaiian. But if you're Hawaiian and you see that, now you're gonna feel what everybody you're gonna feel like, oh my god, this is my hero. Like I can see myself in. You know what I mean? Like I gotta do that too. So it's when I think
I was to say, if I was to say my dream job, unfortunately I did my dream job already many years ago.
You did, you son of a.
My dream job for many years. There was
Wonder
two
Woman.
jobs that I wanted to do. One was to color Superman book, and the other was to color a Wonder Woman book, and I did both. I did a 3-issue run of Superman, and then I did a couple of issues of Wonder Woman, of which only I got one of them I got credit for, but it was outstanding. And it was written by Gail Simone, of all people, who's going to be there at Maui Comic Con next, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. On Maui, she will be there, and I will have my issue of that comic, and she's gonna sign that some bitch, and I'm gonna be happy.
Some bitch.
And it was drawn by Bernard Chang. It was an issue of Wonder Woman with her in Hollywood. I think she was doing a movie or something too. I don't remember why, but there was Wonder Woman, and the apes were her lawyers, and she had to fight the Queen of Dreams, or she had a conflict with the Queen of Dreams. So I was able to do a lot of fun stuff in that book. It really was a dream book. Actually, that was dream book number 1. Dream book number 2 was to color anything that Walter Simonson did, and I was able to do that with Justice Society Unlimited. It was a Hawkman story, and Walt Simonson drew it, and I mentioned this before, I think, but I finished it so quickly because I was like in the zone, and I got angry because I finished it so fast. I finished an entire week's worth of work in about 3 days. It was really annoying, but it's still to this day is one of my favorite things that I've worked on. That and that Wonder Woman book, still some of my favorite work.
Yeah.
From Natalie, I think also seeing the stories of Kanakas and the traditional values portrayed can be so influential to the future generation of artists and creative people over time.
Yep.
Very, very good insight there, young lady.
Yep. She must be really intelligent. She must be related to some.
Hey, I think you're biased, bro. She has the same name, huh? I think you're biased.
She's very intelligent.
Our dream job question. All right. Is what you're doing in comics right now what you always wanted to do? On.
Like what
You
I'm
haven't been
doing in
doing comics
comics?
for very long.
No,
but-
just officially it's only been 2 years officially. Yeah. And no,
Is
that's
penciling what you've always wanted to do?
I don't think I'm just penciling. I'm also like I've done a lot of things. Like pretty much anything with my hands, like hands-on analog with comics. Yeah, I've always I never thought I could do this or like I don't know. It's just I am enjoying this. I actually the answer is probably yes. Yes. I really like it because before doing all of this I was studying cybersecurity and I was
remember
close
that.
to I was very much like giving up on like doing or having the potential of doing art as a career at all and then just doing small convention and show just for fun and then it became a thing where I got paid for and then I was like wow and then I stood up to my parents say I'm gonna give this a shot and actually have fun drawing and making money drawing while I was still doing what I like drawing characters, helping people bring their stories to life, and like I take joy in that because I realize it is a gift to be able to convey um, ideas and concepts into line work. It is actually a skill, a gift, right? And not everyone's able to do that. And so,
Right.
like, yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and
It's
just
not. It's
seeing,
not easy. It's not. It is being able to do it is a huge thing.
yeah, and like just to see some of these writers I've worked with and people who came up with ideas and just even for a small commission and their eyes just light up. They're like, "That's what I saw in my head," or "That's what I'm envisioning," and just to hear that, and it's like, "Oh wow, okay, that makes me feel good."
Yeah.
Just being able to contribute to that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one right there.
All right, DJ.
So,
Is what you're doing in comics right now what you always wanted to do?
yeah, I mean, sorry, break that down again for me.
It is a
Is
loaded
what you're
question.
doing in comics right now? Right now, you're penciling and you're creating your own book. Is it what you always wanted to do?
Yeah, it is. It is. And it is and it isn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're young, you romanticize all of these things and you just think, it looks different. Like, you know what I mean? In fantasy form, these things look different, but when you play them out in real time, it's like, reality is very different. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I do appreciate it. Like the journey, like it's worth it. Like, you know what I mean? Like otherwise, I wouldn't do them. Like, I mean, I don't think anybody would, right? You know what I mean? Like we do them because we gotta do them, but you gotta get something out of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You really gotta get something out of them. You got even if it's not money, like you know what I mean. Like don't trust me, I want the money. You know what I mean? Trust me, I want the money.
Oh yeah.
It's like the validation, right? You know what I mean? But
right, but the money isn't necessarily always the point when.
Right, exactly. And for a long time, I made it the point. Like, you know what I mean? I made it the point, and then so I would, you kind of gotta just deal with reality. You gotta deal with reality. You gotta deal with the facts. You gotta deal with the ugly things too. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
then deal with all of that, and you still draw, and you still do this. Then I think you're out on better place. You know what I mean? You just mentally out on better place because as creative people, we kind of it can get a bit loony, like, you know what I mean? It can get a bit, you know, you can get, I don't know what the word is, off track, off centered, like, you know what I mean? You got to kind of center yourself with something, you know what I mean?
You can lose your
Mhm.
focus.
Right? Yeah. You really, really lose your focus, So, but yeah, I'm happy. I mean, it's not all roses, you know what I mean? But I am happy.
More about it was the question has to do with more about your dreams. Like,
Yeah.
are you close to, or are you doing what you wanted to do in comics, right?
Yeah.
For me, penciling is always what I wanted to do, but for
Right.
some reason, my experience has pushed me in other directions. Like, the only reason I started coloring was because I was looking for a way to color my own art, my drawings, my pencils, my own inks.
Right.
And then I got pretty good at it, and I did it professionally. And then as I'm drawing, I want to make a more finished piece, and I start inking, and my inks are horrible. There's nothing, nowhere looks like, it doesn't look anything like the pencils that I've put down on paper. So, like, well, I got to learn how to do this. And then I spend all this time learning how to do this, that. And I feel very confident in my ability to ink traditionally, but
Right.
it's not penciling comics.
Right.
I didn't focus on penciling as much as I should have, because when I was doing it, it was much harder than I wanted it to be. So I went to something that I thought was easier. And to me, and it's not necessarily easier, but at the time I thought that coloring was going to be easier. And to a degree, it kind of is, but it's also
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
And it was a matter of me buckling down and just doing it that got me to that point. And
Right.
if I want a pencil, it's going to require me that same amount of effort where I buckle
Yeah.
down and I say, I'm going to pencil this and this and this, and I'm going to have it this done in this amount of time, and then screw everything else. That's all I'm going to do. I know that that's what it requires.
Yeah.
But now I'm not doing that. Now I'm coloring and I'm inking, and now I'm writing. Everything. I haven't. I've tried lettering a little bit, and it's horrible. I'm horrible at it, so I'm never going to get into lettering. Thank you, Jim Keplinger. You are a master at lettering, and I appreciate the fact that you're doing it and not me.
I hate lettering.
I actually like lettering.
I don't mind it. I'm not good at it.
I'm not good at it.
Horrible.
Something about when you put the letters on, it locks that picture right in place. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It's like
especially
the
when you do
lettering, because lettering is the last step in a comic book. It's
right.
like once the letters are on there, now it's really done, and I can't go back and change stuff.
Right. But there's also something about the marriage between pictures and words, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like
that's what comics is.
letters
It is a
add
marriage between the picture and words.
just solidifies that thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like now it's official. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it actually looks like a comic. To me, whenever I see the words on it, I was like, oh, it actually looks like a comic now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get that in place, man.
Yeah,
But
I
and
give
I was
props to.
fearful of lettering for a long time, but I would love to do not one whole issue, but maybe like 4 or 5 page um short story where I do everything: pencil, ink, uh, color by hand, and letter by hand. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Mhm.
It's, just I think would be so rewarding. Like, you know what I mean?
So my dream job is what was when I was younger was the pencil. But as time has changed, my goals have changed in comics as well. And while I still think that penciling would be a goal of mine, I think that what I'm doing now is what I've always really wanted to do. What I'm doing now is making comics. I'm writing them. I'm inking them. I'm coloring them. If I can't draw them, I get people like, I don't know, DJ and On to do it for me. Right. I get a good letterer to do it for me. And
but I think it's like
the amount of satisfaction I'm getting from doing all this is incredible. I've not felt this way about anything in my life.
Right. But I think it's like the kid that wanted to be the quarterback, and then he plays football, and then he doesn't make it as quarterback, but now he's like, I don't know, like the running back or something, like, you know what I mean, or tight end or something, and then he finds that he's not that good at quarterback, but he's really good at the other stuff, like, you know what I mean, and he can still play the game, like, you know what I mean, and then it's like, I don't know, like, I'm glad you're not, like, we don't, like, honestly, we don't need, we get so many pencilers, like, you know what I mean, like, we need the color, we need what you can do, like, you know what I mean, like, what you can, like, the way you can take when, you know, our images and bump them up to that level where it's like, holy, like, when I saw you color that page, and I know your colors was good, but when I saw you, like, not just color them, like, you going for them, like, you know what I mean, like, I see guys and they kind of put them in, and it's like,
they nail it in,
right, you know what I mean, and but you're not doing that, you freaking going for them. And that's
putting life into it.
Which one are you referring to? Are you referring to your Exilium pages or the 80 Guns pages?
Both of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, both of them.
Well,
like,
that's an interesting topic we could get to at a certain point. At a certain point, how should I say this? As a professional who's been doing this for a long time, I can't mail it in anymore. I have a certain level of quality that I expect not of myself. And if I don't get there, it hurts me. Like, it physically hurts me.
Okay, good. We're on the same page.
And also, I had to color something once as if it was an 8-year-old colored it. I had the hardest time doing that because I'm no longer color like an 8-year-old, right? I had to really force myself to do that. So at a certain point in your career or in your journey as an artist, you're gonna have a level. It's if this is where you're at now, in 10 years, this is where you'll be, and you're not gonna be able to go back to what you were 10 years ago because you can't. It's like there's a mental wall.
You don't want to put crap. You don't want to put crap out. Exactly. And my name is attached to that. I don't want it to go out. That's the reason why I work all these problems out. You know what I mean? It's like, I've been struggling with this guy's elbow for 2 days, and I'm gonna get him right before this thing goes. I gotta get him right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, it's got to be it's pride, whatever. But still, you like put out the best that you can do, and even if it's the best you can do is not as good as somebody else's, but still, at least you reaching, at least you going all out for them, and you're not, you know what I mean? Like, you're not just, that's good enough, and then put them out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
good enough isn't good enough anymore. Let's just say that right. As my position where I'm at nowadays in my comics career, good enough isn't good enough.
Yeah. Okay, I think I know what's going on. I've been struggling with this drawing for a long time. It's been really messing me up. Wrong one.
I needed to stop what I was doing and work on something else. I was not feeling the coloring of those heads anymore. And I didn't want to color your page of Excellion until I got to a point where I was ready to do it. So
no worries.
I am making a Joe Quesada Wolverine color image. Why? Because it's fun.
Yep. I'm so behind that I don't have the luxury of having fun right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Chop.
I gotta get this. I gotta get them. Like I gotta like.
Yeah, your editor is a little angry at you right now. I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm also not your editor.
I gotta. Oh yeah. I can. I'm self-editing. I'm self-editing.
Actually, Krista is our editor, but she's doing mostly for grammar, that kind of stuff. Like,
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna need that too for sure.
well, that's just your editor for 80 guns. If you need an editor for Exilian, I can help you with that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely one extra set of eyes is always good, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. When I'm ready with mine, I'll need all my help or all the help I
Sorry,
can
what
get.
was that on? What was that?
When I get to my story, I'll probably need all the helps I can get as well.
Yeah,
Well, it's good that you're creating a network of professionals to help you with these things because
Right.
it's what remember I don't remember, but DJ was mentioning that he was part of an online studio, and that's kind of what studios used to do. Is they used to give you other professionals and other people who are going through the same journey as you to be able
Right.
to throw stuff against the wall, so to speak. Like,
Right.
is this working? And it's not working. I need help, and then they can help you. So,
Right.
yeah.
it,
But that's to me like you need the feedback. Like you know what I mean. You need other people looking at your stuff, and that's the only way you're gonna get better because they're gonna find things that you know
You
they're
never
gonna find
know. Yeah.
yeah things that you just wouldn't think for look at. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
People get a little bit too precious about the work. It's like, dude, you got to be stronger than that. You got to be your skin's got to be thicker than that. You know.
The village
oh yes,
raise a child. So
Yeah.
if you think of your work as a baby, takes a village, makes it good.
Yeah.
well, it's interesting that you say that because that's not a mentality that some people have.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially
Mm,
um,
um,
you're,
the village raises the child mentality is a very village and island and small town, and we're not a small town culture anymore in the United States, and so you don't see a lot of people who have that same feeling. Like if you went to a grocery store right now and some kid was acting all nuts and you yelled at the kid to stop it, their parent would yell at you. That's the way it is now in modern American culture. When
yeah.
DJ and I were growing up, if you're acting all the kind inside the grocery store, anybody's parent,
Yep.
anyone over the age of 21 could look at you and tell you, "Hey, boy, knock it off before I tell your mom." And then you knock it off because you know that you're going to go tell your mom, and then you're going to get beating
oh,
because that's the way everyone could scold our children when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Kids when we were growing up.
Well,
Now,
remember the expression? Respect your elders.
yeah,
yeah.
It was every elder, even if the elder was wrong, you still the principle was in place. You know
Yep.
what I mean? The
Yep.
principle was in place, even if the elder was wrong. You know, and it like you know,
there's many
it's
times
just
when the elders were wrong, and it didn't matter
no,
if they were wrong.
You
no,
you just shut up and grumble under your breath, but just shut up.
Well, yeah, and then don't let them hear that you were grumbling under your breath.
Yeah.
yeah,
No, in Asia, it's well, at least where I grew up, same.
yeah,
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 and I don't know what it is with modern American culture. It's gone to the point where that's a no-no.
yeah,
I kids get too spoiled. Like where I work, I see plenty like little kids, they just running around. I'm like, oh, they no more school or something. And then I'll be told like, oh, they're on their break. I was like, then get your butt home, do your homework, or help your parents or something. You hooligans out here just making noises, and so I would scold them, and then everyone would look at me like, oh, you brave. I was like, what you mean?
yeah.
If nobody tell them, who's gonna tell them? And they're just gonna continue down that path, when they get older. So, uh, I don't know.
No, you're
I
right.
do know. DJ knows. We've raised kids. We know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no more. Respect for authority is gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The elder is gone. Respectful. Every authority is gone. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, do we want to go this? Like, do we want to know how worse it gets? You know what I mean? We don't want to know how worse it get. Like, you know.
For me, the
All right.
way I was
Another question.
raised. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's like
No, go ahead.
you
Don.
want. It's like it's the simplest thing is you want respect, you earn respect. You don't you don't get respect out of nowhere. So that's
Yeah.
what a lot of kids gonna get trouble with.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my ramble.
All right. Next question. The next question on the list. The next question is, what are your aspirations within the industry? What do you aspire to do or be within comics? I mean, are you looking to make the next tentpole storyline, the thing that everybody goes, wow, that's the new comics there? Are you looking to be the next, Frank Miller, writing and drawing your own the books?
Oh, Frank Miller, that's a good. Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you content where you're at and you don't want to really do more than what you're doing? What are your aspirations within the comic industry?
I like to leave behind like a prolific portfolios of work. It's kind of like Studio Ghibli with like a large um variety of stories or body of work behind. So that's what I want to do. Just keep producing, keep drawing, and like keep learning the whole way through till I can't draw no more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
DJ, what about you?
That's simple.
Or go ahead on. Continue.
I keep blanking because I'm drawing. What was the question again?
What are your aspirations within the industry?
Aspirations within the industry.
What do you want to see out of yourself?
Oh yeah, I want a grand slam, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I want the big, like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, like I feel like comics is so weak right now. Like, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, it's not. It's there's a lot of good out there, but it's like I don't know what the word is. Like
Does it feel watered down?
it's watered down. It's watered down because, and it's kind of like the American Idol effect. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like you can see the greatness in the product when the stakes is high. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Say it again.
okay, you can see the quality of the, like, it hits different when the stakes is high for the creator.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What would make something be a high stakes thing?
like your life depend on him. Like, you know what I mean? Like Israel's last, like his facing future and all of that. Like, he's putting his life on the line. Like, he can do this before he died. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's like, like this Factor, American Idol. Like, the stakes is gone. They're good singers. They're talented. They can sing. But do we really need more of it? You know what I mean? Do we really need another artist that can do exactly what every other artist does? You know what I mean? And
I think so.
I mean,
I think I know what you mean.
so the difference will be in the actual books themselves. You know what I mean? So the story is going to be the determining factor. Nobody talking about stories right now. Everybody's talking about, oh, this project, that project. Oh, this creator, that creator is like, okay, what about this? What about the story is going to last? We're going to talk about him like Frank Miller's, his Dark Knight and his Dark Knight Returns. Like, where's that? Where's the current version of that now?
So you're looking for a transformative piece of comics, something
Yeah.
that changes the industry or changes the art form.
Or at least makes people pause and go, yeah, like you know what I mean? Like even if I don't have the most revolutionary ideas, but still, yeah, you want to know that. Oh, this guy went for it, and he put it all out. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's going for it. He's doing it. Like you know what I mean? Like Marvel and DC to me is they're the weakest now. Like you know what I mean?
Do you feel like the Marvel and DC are phoning it in to a degree?
I don't feel like they're phoning it in. I feel like they're what's the word?
Comfortable in what they're doing?
What's the word when you outsource to China? Or they're outsourcing. That's what they're doing. They're outsourcing the comics industry to people that they're good artists. Don't get me wrong. All of these foreign artists, they're really good, but their soul is not in the book. Like you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Getting back to what I'm talking about, like you can feel John Romita Jr.'s art. You can feel like all of the greats. You know, Joe Kubert. You can feel that. Like you know what I mean? These artists that I'm not saying are outsourced, but Marvel, the comics is weak. The comics is so weak.
You feel like you feel like the comics are too similar in what they're doing? Like there's nothing that's really different about one from the next?
Yeah. That and I don't.
Good description of it.
I feel like the studios are mailing it in. They're phoning it in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the artist is doing the best that they can, but there's not a connect between the soul. You know what I mean? Like the soul of the artist, the soul of the
more
writer.
of a production.
You know what I mean? Like translating that onto the page and then printing that out and then putting that out to the world. You know what I mean? You find that you find those, and those gonna be diamonds in the rough. Those gonna be found in crowdfunding. You know what I mean? Because crowdfunding is where like you and I are just going for it. You know what I mean? We just go put them all out there and just let's go. Like you know what I mean? Let's do it. It's the wild west. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, this is Amy. DJ, do you feel that's also the reason why we're getting more foreign artists in mainstream comics? I feel like we're getting more. Well, yeah, I feel like we're getting plenty foreign artists because we live in foreign countries where it's like, oh, we just pay this guy one cheapy great, and for him, if you're living on pesos and the dollar is stronger than the peso, so they're gonna go outsource to these countries. You know what I mean? That's just my take. I don't know. You know what I mean? But you $100 a page over here. Who in living in the United States can live off $100 a page? But somebody in okay, you know what I mean? Because the currency, the exchange is different. You know, they're gonna live like kings over there. You know what I mean? So you're gonna track all of these. Not to say that they're not good, but there is a disconnect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the art is good. They're competent. They know their art and all. They know all of that. The talent is definitely there, but the soul to me is not there.
Is that what you're referring to when you receive the soul? John Romita Jr. knows Spider-Man,
Right.
and he knows New York City. Is that the soul you're referring to?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Like even Jack Kirby them doing Fantastic Four. Like you know what I mean? They these characters are them. They're just versions of them. You know what I mean? So you get that. You need to get more ideas or changes in storytelling, art, etc. I don't know what that means.
Meaning to get more ideas, changes in storytelling, art, etc. I don't think that's necessarily the point. Amy, what I think she's referring to is the influx of new talent that brings new ideas and it transforms the art form into something something new because of their input to it. Like, let's say, for example, Jim Lee, say what you want about him, Jim Lee and Art Adams created a movement in comics towards more realism.
Right.
And that movement channeled into other movements and so forth. But before Jim, it was Neil Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that from Neil Adams went to Jim and so forth. So did it transform the industry? Yep, it did. How many times have we seen that recently where an industry is transformed because of one artist?
Right. And I'm not saying like, for me, I'm not saying that it has to transform anything. It just has to resonate. It just has to resonate. Like the art, like their art was so good, it was so revolutionary at the time. It was, and I know it. My art is not that. My art is very derivative of what is really going on. You know what I mean? And so what I'm hoping is that the art will be good enough, but the story is the one when you read them, is like, oh, that's where you get it. You know what I mean? That's why, guys like Frank Miller. Frank Miller is not the best artist, but when Frank Miller is drawing his comics and writing his comics, damn, you know what I mean?
His visual vocabulary is huge.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So Walt Simonson, like you said, you know what I mean? He's not the best artist, but when you read his book, it's like, oh shit, geez, you know what I mean? Like there's something there, something resonates,
So my aspirations in the industry, my aspiration is to make a body of work that I can look back on and say that I put my best effort into it. And that's where CoffeeShop comics come from. I have these stories and I want to tell them, and I have friends who are artists and I can write to a degree. Let me just, as you said, DJ, give them, just go for it. Why not? If somebody else can do it, why can't I? If three guys can get together in somebody's garage and create Nirvana, why can't I make my own Nirvana band? Right?
Yeah. Right. And
two guys creating Teenage Ninja Mutant Ninja Turtle. Yep.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but get one level of risk involved. Like, you know what I mean? Get a level of sacrifice, get on level of, like they don't have the studio, like, you know what I mean? They don't have the comfort of the financial, like, you know what I mean, backing and all of that, but you still will put them out anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know all about that.
Yeah, we know that struggle, right? But anyways, when you do that, and then you hit big, that's the one right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, and don't get me wrong, that would be cool as hell to hit big. But honestly, hitting big isn't my goal necessarily. My goal is to tell a good story that I'm to be proud of. That, hey, maybe somebody takes my story and teaches it to a kid of a classroom full of English as a second language learners, and because the story and the art are easy to understand for them, and it helps them. That would be cool to me. Whether I make a lot of money doing that or not, doesn't matter to me. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I want to hit big.
I think
I hear you.
I'm along the line with Uncle Kanila in a sense, because like for me with the storytelling, it's my way of conversing with people. So if my story or my art can open up a conversation with someone or create a conversation among people where we're not out there mad at each other, angry about silly little stuff, and we can talk about something beyond that and escape from the daily life. I think that's the best thing I could do with a story.
There is a place on this world for recreation, to recreate ourselves through recreation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Recreation isn't just having fun; it is the process of recreating yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just pause. Long
Mm.
pause. Like the
Yeah.
Indian.
Last question. This one is a little bit more, probably
Shallow.
more for me and DJ to a degree than it will be for On. Because it would require a little more experience in the industry. Though On, with your recent experience, you will have something to say about this. If you're a brand new
Okay.
person in the industry and you're just starting your first day in the comics and you got your first gig and somebody wants to pay you to draw or color or ink, how do you protect yourself? How do you protect yourself
Oh.
from someone trying to take advantage of you, from someone taking your work, from someone trying to say,
Oh.
hey, how do you protect yourself in an
Ooh.
industry where everyone is trying to take advantage of you?
I was burned thoroughly within my first like half a year working in this industry, and then for another year I was burned quite bad. So yeah, let's see. First of all, like before you even go into this, like really think about why are you going into the industry. Like, do you enjoy the art form? You know, it's like, is this really what you want to do? In a sense, like get to know what it takes to be this industry. Like, get to know people, talk to as many people as you can, and then find the ones that you can confide in and really trust, and actually really think about it logically. Don't go along with your feelings and stuff like I did. And because it's good to surround yourself with good people that you can trust. That's the first
That's
thing I
so
would
huge,
do.
right? The
That,
best, the
yes,
biggest advice to
that is so
surround
huge.
yourself with people you can trust.
Yes, it is because oh my god, I've been burned, but like I've not been paid for like a good 9 months for my first like one of my first gigs. I didn't get paid for 9 months. I got kind of like what's the word? Blind, not blindsided. I got kind of gaslighted for things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've done work that I haven't been compensated for and stuff, and I just kind of didn't know better. I didn't have the guidance. I didn't have someone to teach me like you gotta teach people how to value your art. You gotta value your own work. You gotta value time. Time is a big thing. You know that's what you're getting paid for. Time, your time, and on top of your skill. Um,
Right.
things like that. So it's good to really do your research and get to know what is involved, what kind of work is there, find which one you're comfortable doing or would like to do. And then research your own prices, consult. This is where the person you can trust or people you can trust is important because you consult with them on like things like the monetary stuff. And then if they're the right people, they would teach you on legalities, so you gotta have work contracts, uh NDA, any of that, you need to be aware and have those clauses. If someone sends you a clause like that, you thoroughly read every single word. Like how we usually skip all those like terms
Yep.
and policy on a lot of stuff. You cannot do that with these kind of work. You have to read every single thing and make sure you understand what you're being asked for. Any possibility of like loopholes and all that, you gotta freaking understand it. Because it gets messy. You can lose your work, your
Does it get
IP.
messy? It sure does get messy.
Yes, and then oh my god, yep. And then there are things where I haven't had contracts laid down, and I just think, oh, these people, I know them, they're friends, right? Even if they're friends,
Yep.
you put it down on paper
Yep.
because I have work that are floating out there that had none of my consent in being out there and is being made money of without me having anything from it. So things like that has happened within the 2 years I've been in this industry officially.
So
So it
that's
don't,
a huge thing to bring up, is that even in On's 2 years, she's had that to deal with, and she's learned that lesson. And that's
yeah.
wow, right?
And if it does happen to you, learn from the mistake. Don't do it again, but don't stop. If you really love this, you love drawing, you love working, you're gonna be smarter and wiser about who you work with. You know how to put down your boundaries. But yeah, that. Whew.
Well, well
Flashback.
said. Well said.
DJ, same question to you. I'll repeat the question.
Yes.
As a creator,
Mm-hmm.
how can you protect yourself in this industry? And have you had situations where you've had to rely on that kind of stuff?
How do you protect yourself? Well, like NDAs, contracts. I can say that I haven't been burned because I can always smell them. Like, you know what I mean? I could smell them a mile away, and then so there's few instances where I thought about it, and then well, that's one. I think it's one of my strong suits is sniffing out. The biggest thing I sniff out is whether I want to do the project or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, whether I want to do the project or not, and then the one other good thing I can sniff out is if I got get money or not. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh.
you making me
I'm
all
so
these
sorry.
services and all
Yeah.
that, and even you know what I mean? Like, how do I know? Like, you know what I mean? How, like, what assurances do I have for X, Y, and Z if you want all of these things? You know what I mean? Like, and then so
That brings up another thing that um what you call it, do not ever accept a work that is based off of royalties only, especially if it's someone you never met in person, know of, or whatever. I've gotten offers like that where they're very persistent and they're like, "Oh, don't worry. After like you start working on these pages, I'm gonna get all these sponsor, and they're gonna pay this amount, and you're gonna get this amount, so you can quit whatever projects you're on." Literally, I had people who tell me to quit whatever projects they can pay me better, but only after I submit work that I have nothing to protect myself under. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. How dare you?
yeah,
But things like that do happen. So if they bring like
More
you
than
say,
you
like if
realize.
you don't, yeah, it's like if they can't offer you any solid thing to compensate you, that's bullshit. That's straight up bullshit.
yeah,
It's an unfortunate aspect of an industry that money is slow in coming. So
yeah,
the old image model where you submit your work, they accept it, you send it to print, and then after the 3 months when the image gets money, then you'll get money.
yeah,
So you had to produce the entire book, write it, draw it, ink it, color it, letter it, design it, put it together. Image has sold it, has distributed it for you, and 3 months after that, you get paid. I think it's a lot of this, drawing or doing art or creating on spec is somewhat of a result of that. I like the fact that in the current comic stock paradigm, things like Kickstarter or other crowdfunding has made it so that artists and writers actually get money for their work that way. That's a great thing. Modern the modern paradigm, but you'll still see lots and lots of that on. It's like notorious. And DJ being able to sniff out people is a huge skill to have in business. Period. I don't care if it's comics, retail, to termite pest control. It's a huge skill to have. For me, in my experience, what On mentioned is actually probably the biggest thing for me. It's, do you have a contract?
Yep.
Is it solid? Were they iffy if you tried to get a contract from them?
Right.
Did they not speak in clear, concise numbers? I will pay you this much for this work. Did they talk to you that way? If they haven't, I don't know that they're people you want to work with.
Right.
In my personal experience, I've had situations because of life happening where I have not been able to pay people when I should, or I paid them late, or in the case of some other people, I didn't pay them, and I'm working on ways to make that happen. But these are all situations that I'm completely ashamed of, and I'm doing everything I can to make it right. And the people that were like that are still talking to me, and so we're working together. So it's not. It comes down to being the kind of person you want to deal with in comics.
Yeah.
And once you figure out what that is, sticking to it and having that be your hill that you'll die on, right?
Right.
I would never have asked DJ to draw 80 guns for spec. He's worth more than that, and he should know that, and I'm glad he does. I would never have offered On to draw on spec. That's never something I would do, even though she's so young in the industry, and I actually appreciate that she offered me a nice rate, because I'm going to help her with some of this stuff, this mentorship, learning how to work and how to
that's another thing that, but also, like, that's why I mentioned, like, to begin with, when you first go into the industry, do your research, try your hands around the first couple of years and whatever, to see what you like, right? And then see what's involved. And then you can establish your own, what you expect, what you want, and the trade-off you're willing to make, right?
Right.
So I've learned, like, since the 2 years I've been in, I've worked for, like, where I get money left and right, and I didn't enjoy the work, or I didn't quite bond or enjoy the people I worked with, versus like now the people I work with, like Uncle Kanila here, where I'm like, oh sure, anytime I play D&D with you, it's gonna be fun. It's like
Exactly.
I know I'm gonna enjoy no matter what. That doesn't matter. So, like, and then I have friends of people I would go and eat and drink and talk, and then I'm down for, like, their project, and I know their financial circumstances and stuff, and I'm willing to bend over for certain people just because I enjoy the project and I enjoy them. But then that comes with knowing what you want and being able to juggle your life and, make that happen. But you really have to do that first part, that whole research first. Yeah, because if not, you're gonna get eaten up by all these sharks out there.
Eaten alive. They will just destroy you.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting. One of the my favorite things that I read online was an article by J. Scott Campbell, and he writes this article about someone who asked him for, what do I got to do to get in the industry? Essentially, his reply was essentially, don't. And he goes through an entire list of all the things that are horrible about working in comics. Sometimes you're going to eat ramen for lunch and dinner and breakfast. Sometimes you're not going to be able to go on your family vacation because you don't have time for a vacation. You got deadlines. And he goes through all these negative lists, these things about comics that are horrible. And then he says, so don't do it. Now, if none of that dissuaded you from getting into comics, do it. You can look at all the negatives in comics, the things that are bad about it, the horrible things, the drama that you're going to get, the health problems. If all of that still doesn't dissuade you from getting into comics, it's the job for you, right? If it hasn't scared you yet, then that's the job that you need to have. So I found that to be one of the biggest one of the ways that I do my best to share with people, hey, what do I do to get in the industry? I tell them, don't do it. You don't want to do it. There's no money in it. You're never going to be famous like Jim Lee, because Jim Lee, there's one Jim Lee in every generation. There's not money. And trust me, you're not the 20th, the one, right? So in this industry, I believe there are a couple of things that are important. One is, if you don't know how to manage your money and how to speak business, learn. It's just a matter of watching a few YouTubes about how to do the business communication and how to be able to speak clearly and understand English, because that's what most business is done in America with regards to comics, is in the English language. The other thing would be to learn what you're worth. Learn the reality of you. What you can't. Learning what you can't do is just as important as learning what you can do, or more so sometimes, because then you don't waste your time doing that thing that you're not good at. Okay?
Right.
And what you do determines your reality, meaning the more you practice at what you're doing, the better you'll get at it. But if you don't do it, if you don't do something else, that thing will also start to wane. Like, you two will understand. As artists, I'm always experimenting with new stuff. A new pen, a new pencil, a new technique. I'm looking at new artists. I'm painting, or I'm trying ceramics. Something different from just comics, because it gives you the ability to look beyond what you're doing and see more. And I think that's a huge part of also protecting yourself. Because if you don't, I'm at the age, DJ is getting closer, I'm at the age where I have to think about retirement. And I have to prepare myself for it. Retirement is something that you should start thinking about right now.
Oh yeah, I am.
I know you're young, but if you start it now, if you put $100 away in your bank account every day for the rest of your $100 a month for the rest of your life, you'll be a millionaire by the time you retire. Period. It's just how it works. And it might, not everyone can do that. Not everyone can do it that way. But having something to prepare yourself for the eventual time where you can't work is important. Anyway, protect yourself in the industry. That was my last question. And it's now 10 o'clock. We've been on for set 3 hours. And I am ready to call time.
All right.
Awesome, Dawn. I enjoyed watching you working on those.
Yeah.
I look forward to picking them up from you on Saturday, so I can ink them.
Saturday, I have to go into work. So let me know if you want to meet or something.
Afterward, or when are you going to be off?
So technically 7, but then the lady I'm covering, because I switched with her, she's asking me to cover. I think she said she can alleviate me after 2 or 4. So I just gotta check on that. So yeah, I'll bring these with me. And then I'll give you a little location. It's a little closer to you, just a little, but yeah.
That's right. I'll call you, or I'll text you, and I'll get that information from you.
Yeah, and then I'll have these scanned up tomorrow morning, because I'm done. I'm almost, unless I want to touch up on something, but I'm pretty much done with this one.
If you can get a high-res grayscale scan for me, then I can print them onto my own boards, and then I can print from there. I can ink from that.
600 DPI.
600 DPI grayscale.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
It's going to be huge, but we'll work with it.
No, I've done it before. So on the printer, it can do grayscale. So I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. DJ, good talking to you. We'll see you online. And then we'll see you online as well. Thanks everyone for joining us. For the 2 or 3 of you that joined us throughout the stream, we appreciate your time. And we look forward to seeing you next week, Thursday, the day before we head out for the day before Maui. Most people head out to Maui for Maui Comic-Con. Hello everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hello.